40 years ago, we opened our doors with one mission in mind.
We'll be right back with the top 10 songs of 1983.
To sell quality American-made vehicles at a fair price.
You have arrived.
And we've loved every minute of the ride. Celebrating 40 years of Two Rivers Ford.
.601. Good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com sports desk. According to reports, the Titans are expected to release linebacker Bud Dupree. The move would clear up over $9 million in cap space. Also, according to Mike Silver of Bally Sports, Derrick Henry was among the players being shopped at the NFL Scouting Combine. The Seahawks and quarterback Geno Smith have agreed on a 3-year, $105 million deal, which includes $52 million in the first year. The 32-year-old Smith is the NFL's Comeback Player of the Year. Derek Carr agreed to a 4-year contract with the New Orleans Saints. Reportedly, the deal could potentially be worth up to $150 million and includes up to $100 million in guarantees. Carr will receive $60 million fully guaranteed at signing and will earn $60 million in the first 2 years of the deal. To the ice last night, Vancouver defeated Nashville 4-3 in a shootout. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Out of the blocks and ready to go on the Tuesday morning edition of Ramon, Kayla, and Will. And it's powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone. And coming up on today's show, the Titans move on from Bud Dupree, but are they ready for life without Derrick Henry? PFF Sam Monson and 3HL's Ron Slay stop by, and we take lots of your reaction on a busy Titans Tuesday. 615-737-1045. Alongside Vol for Life, Ramon Foster. Capitalized J journalist Kayla Anderson, and the best producer in the world, Jonathan Schaefer.
The best producer in the world!
My name is Will Bowling. Crew's all here. March the 7th. March Madness continues. A very good morning, everyone.
Top of the morning.
Top of the morning, Kayla. Every time you say March Madness, I hear the intro that dress it up and make it real. That's all I hear every time you say. Every time you say March Madness.
Who performs that?
Future.
Yeah, let's keep it that way.
I didn't.
You're
expect
still
it that
falling
time.
for that.
I didn't expect it that time. You came in just. Everybody's had their coffee this morning. I just took my first sip. Yep, that's a me problem. That's what that is.
Do you realize that's Kayla's version of "it doesn't matter"?
Yeah, pretty much.
Why did Schaefer just sound like Patrick Starr from SpongeBob there for a second?
Because I can do a Patrick Starr.
What?
You watched SpongeBob growing up?
I actually didn't as much as
SpongeBob
all
now.
of
What are you
my
talking
friends.
about?
I've never seen it
Kayla, it's an appropriate one for us. You would enjoy this one.
because it has like underlying.
Not even.
Jokes?
It's just stupid.
It ain't even really underlined.
Okay.
It's a good one. Like the Bugs Bunny cartoons in like the 90s. Well, they were way
I
before
love
our time.
Bugs Bunny.
Looney Tunes, that's what SpongeBob
Me,
is
me.
to me. Yes, Roadrunner and everything. I didn't realize how old those cartoons were.
The amount of times we're going to make that joke
They're
when
old.
Tennessee plays UTSA this year in football is going to be
Meep.
remarkable. Yep. The Roadrunners. No, but I was not a big SpongeBob guy, which is like blasphemy for people my age. Really just for people, but especially for people my age. And it's one of my worst traits. One of my worst traits.
Not watching SpongeBob.
Yeah, but like a good SpongeBob meme for it is evergreen for anything that happens in the world on Elon's website, as long as that website
That's
continues
true.
to operate. But I don't know how much longer that's really going to be.
Elon's website. I love
Twitter.
how you call it that.
Yeah.
It's been really up and down lately too
It
about
really
the reports
has.
on it. Ever since he bought it.
Like, figure it out, Elon. If you don't want to, it's like go all in, or get out.
Pretty much.
Okay?
Pretty much.
If you're listening, Elon, there's my advice.
Well, there's just a little bit to talk about this morning.
A little bit.
With Bud Dupree being released and getting fired on his day off and finding out on Twitter yesterday. You've got Derrick Henry, according to longtime San Francisco columnist Michael Silver, now writing for Bally Sports, quoting sitting general managers, saying the Titans are shopping Derrick Henry, which, of course, on Elon's website was taken with much reason and nuance and logic, not even a little bit. And then you've even got a podcast on Pro Football Focus's network that says the Titans are looking to trade up possibly for quarterbacks.
Fun.
Who's to say? Welcome to the season of lies at 6:06 on a Tuesday morning.
That's where I was. Every lie that we said we weren't going to discuss has become a reality right now, y'all.
Sure, it has.
Ain't no way I thought we were having a conversation this year about the Titans moving up for a quarterback. Now the guy that called in and said, "Get rid of everybody. Don't bring this guy back. Let Derrick Henry be the focal point of your offense." Now he's more right than not right now, y'all.
We couldn't even get through our meeting yesterday after the show without 15 things coming across Twitter that we had to stop the meeting, pivot, talk about it, and then come back to the meeting.
We had more pivots than Ross and Friends.
More pivots than John
There we go.
Fulkerson after a shot fake. Just
No,
left side, right side, left side, right side. left.
1970s basketball is what we're talking about.
I mean,
that type of
literally,
pivot.
That's when John Fulkerson's Tennessee career started. So, yeah, 1970s college basketball.
You idiot.
And shorts.
It is a head on a swivel season in the National Football League with free agency opening next week, with the new league year upon us. The days of, we'll just talk about some prospects and mosey our way through the show are over.
Yeah.
This is why the NFL has us in the palm of their hands.
Yeah, you're right.
Are y'all okay with that though? Like that's like legitimately.
We're talking about
I
it.
know.
That's
and
what
I'm
we
just
do
like,
for a living.
We're starting all over again with everyone. And I'm hearing this too. Well, I heard this morning. Aaron Rodgers is out of his pit,
Here we go.
God,
but he's yet to make a decision. Like what?
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
Why
please.
are we waiting on this? Like
We're not waiting on anything.
every lie. I know we're not. I could really care
Now, the
less.
Jets,
I
the
know-
Raiders,
Yeah.
This stuff is more tangible than who NFL players are following or not following on social media. So at least we have something real to talk about.
Stephon Diggs. You see that one?
No, I
No.
didn't because I don't care.
what did he do?
He unfollowed the Bills and
Okay.
also
What is going
Kayla
on?
followed the Cowboys. Let's
Get of here.
Wow. Crazy scare.
Let's start doing some weird stuff on Twitter and see if people notice.
I'm going to follow the
You
zone.
want to do that?
Yeah, unfollow the zone. I can't wait to.
The Cowboys haven't really followed playoff wins since the 90s, so
They
maybe there's
did drop the
correlation to
ball.
that. No, I just don't care. Anyway, I think I'm going to mute the words unfollowed or unfollowing on Twitter, just like how I've muted every iteration of WWE and WrestleMania, because people who love WrestleMania are really proud of the fact on Twitter that they love WrestleMania.
Yep.
And I'm glad they love WrestleMania.
Hey, I will say
but
this.
I don't have to love WrestleMania.
Stop slandering WrestleMania. Don't you dare slander Kayla.
Have you been to
Hell
an event?
Yeah.
Where?
You hear me?
Orlando?
In New York.
Oh, you in New York?
In MetLife. Kayla.
I'm really
it
glad
is-
Schaefer was on the
Okay.
phone and didn't hear me
Don't
say
you
that.
dare. He in here slandering WrestleMania.
Who is Will?
Yes.
Yeah, I expect that.
Oh, my God.
I just said I have the
Kayla.
word WrestleMania muted on Twitter because it takes over Elon's website every single time that it happens. And I'm glad that people can enjoy it, but I don't also have to enjoy
You
it.
could have come to SummerSlam with us, man.
See, I would do that. That's the thing. I would enjoy that.
So
Hey.
you would do it live, but you just don't want to hear about it on Twitter.
All right.
Just
Are
like a lot
you
of
going to
people
go to WrestleMania when it's here, when we have a new stadium?
I'd love to.
I'm
That's the
telling
thing is, like, I understand a lot of people when they're like, oh, I don't mind baseball in person. I just can't watch it on TV. I'm like, that's okay. Like I am of as I grow older and mature and become wiser one day. I don't know when that'll happen, but one day. People don't have to like everything that I like. It's really okay.
That's very true. That's very responsible of you to mention that to us,
Thank
okay?
you. Really
yes,
appreciate
it
that.
really is.
There's only one phenom.
No. He's on freaking fire.
boy.
You almost made me drop a bad word right there because you're just so off the rails right now. He's on friggin' fire right now, y'all. Like, legitimately, who are you today? It ain't even Wednesday.
I don't know. I need more of this guy, though.
I know. It ain't even Wednesday, dude.
I woke up a little bit earlier and had an extra cup of coffee before I came in this morning.
How much
Like I'm
earlier?
awake.
That's the thing, though.
there it
Usually he
is.
rolls out of bed and he gets here and he's like,
I'm
I just
always
rolled out of
awake,
bed.
but now I'm like alert today.
Did
Maybe
you?
I'll crash at like 8.
That's what I was wondering.
That's probably going to happen.
Yep, that's what I was.
Likely.
No, I'll crash at
Very
like 2
likely.
p.m.
There's no slant. I'm telling you, by Kayla, to you, answer your question, WrestleMania production, the event, the fandom of it all, you got to, like, if it's here, you got to go. Or if
Yeah.
it's somewhere, it's
I'll check it out.
official. And I don't know if it was because it was at MetLife in New York or what, but it was
Well, because you
beyond worth
love
it.
New York. Let's just put that
Well,
out there for the
that's
people. Every time we bring up New York, New York,
Great city.
this guy over here is just like, me.
Yes.
I'm with you.
I want to go.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and pitch right now to do that Army-Navy game. That I would absolutely love to do that bad.
Isn't that
So
what
give me an extra
3HL does?
credential. Yeah, give me
Yeah.
an extra credential and I'm there. Alejandro said he's supposed to be taking me anyway, but we'll see.
The reason why I'm probably more alert this morning is because my broadcasting idol just called into this station yesterday on 3HL.
Blew my mind.
CBS's Jim Nance just calling in on 3HL just
my
on a
mind.
Monday. Just, hey, how's it going, Savage, Mayor?
He does live here.
It was so cool.
He does.
Literally so cool.
I heard
Shout out to
him.
them for that.
Shout out to them for that. That was above board right
It
there.
was awesome.
That was
It
awesome.
was so cool. I've listened to that show for a long time, and that was a really cool moment.
He's had.
That'll
Has
go on
he
the
been
Mount
on that
Rushmore
show
of that
before?
show.
I feel like he.
I think so.
I think he
I think
has.
he's done this
yeah,
before.
I do.
And he
Randomly.
stopped by our toy field.
That's right,
He
you
stopped
said
by
that.
and interacted with the station, and has been awesome to interact with. Such a nice guy.
Such a great
So Jim,
dude.
if you're listening, it's 615-737-1045.
Now this is why Will really brought it up because he
He's
wants you to
listening.
pop on our show.
Jim Nance is my favorite broadcaster ever. Like he does. Oh, he's so good.
get-
And the Masters is less than 50 days away now, so that's
Yes.
also why I'm a little
You
happier.
counted it down
inside.
yesterday
It's
with
50
He
days
did.
on
a
Sunday.
dancing emoji
Yeah,
or
that's right.
whatever the heck that was.
After hearing him, I gained a lot of perspective yesterday.
Had you never really listened to Jim?
I have not, I've never heard him talk like that. And that
Okay.
was to hear a conversation. He was just going.
Yeah, he's
they
a good
went
guy.
through breaks.
And the Players Championships this weekend. What do we do?
Yes, it is.
Anyway.
Let's go, Ricky Fowler. Let's go.
615-737-1045 is our number. We take a look at the story from Michael Silver on Bally Sports about the Titans shopping Derrick Henry. Our immediate reaction to the element of this offseason that we've been kind of shopping around ourselves for the past couple of weeks, if you've been listening closely. PFF Sam Monson joins us at 8:20. 3HL and SEC Network's Ron Slay coming up in hour number 4 this morning. Lots to discuss on a busy Titans Tuesday. It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, 104.5 The Zone.
Your chance to get that rare, hard-to-find luxury pre-owned Rolex timepiece is here at Genesis Diamonds. This Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, Genesis is hosting an epic pre-owned luxury Rolex event featuring a stunning new selection of these hard-to-find watches: Hulk, Submariner, Daytonas, Pepsis, Batmans, all the hottest Rolex models that people wait years for. These are carefully chosen timepieces in pristine condition. And if you have been searching for a Rolex, you know how amazing this opportunity is. And listen to this: with the purchase of any luxury pre-owned Rolex at this event, Genesis will give you a beautiful pair of 2-carat lab-grown diamond stud earrings for free. That's a $6,000 value. Also for this event, Genesis has pre-owned Rolex buyers on site offering top dollar for your Rolex so you can sell yours or trade it for another model. This is a great event. Come to the largest selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches in the state and take advantage of their special financing and get a 2-carat lab-grown pair of diamond studs valued at $6,000 absolutely free this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at Genesis Diamonds. Your home for luxury pre-owned Rolexes, located in Green Hills and Cool Springs, while supplies last, and see store for details.
It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling with you, and I guess Ramon Foster is in a New York state of mind this morning.
I am, man. I'm always like that. I enjoy New York. Kayla's got
You're
a great
always
point.
like that, he says.
I did mark my first Nashville SC broadcast of the season over the weekend with lots of New York-related comments and or puns.
Oh, yeah.
At the beginning of the game at kick, I gave my open and then said, live from New York, it's Saturday night soccer.
Wow.
And then that was the beginning of the game.
So not only
proud of
did
myself.
Travis Kelce debut on SNL, but Will tried to, do his little SNL
I was more
debut.
focused that my celebrity crush was the musical guest on SNL over the weekend, too.
Who's that crush?
Kelsey Ballerini.
You have mentioned that numerous times.
But
You're
she's
right.
dating the Outer Banks star,
Yeah,
so
Chase
that ain't
Stokes.
happening.
Kind of tough.
Oh, you can take them on. You can
Probably
do
not.
that.
I mean, I'm good.
Okay, all right.
But
fine.
Travis
I'm
Kelce
good.
was really good.
That's what I was going to ask. He was
really
good.
good.
He
His
was.
monologue was awesome. He had some really funny skits, and I give him credit. A lot of these actors that do these shows, which is kind of funny, they break during some of the skits. They start to laugh. It just makes it so much funnier. He didn't even do that. He kept his cool. He was really good. I'm not gonna lie.
Really cool to see a guy from a young, plucky underdog team like the Kansas City Chiefs get the opportunity to host Saturday Night Live.
I got
That's
nothing wrong
awesome.
with him. I think he's cool.
Really awesome.
Listen, from what type of team were they this year?
That plucky underdog Kansas City team that nobody believed in. Really, really cool to see that guy host SNL. Cool. I'm sure Butch Jones also had some kind of graphic on his Twitter about, I've had more players host SNL over the last week than any other coach in college football.
Safe.
Well,
Sorry, Mickey.
if you like Travis Kelce and you want to watch him on a different platform, I suggest watching SNL replay.
Can we box this William up? And just
You may not.
bring him
No,
back.
because I'll punch it down the stairs.
Okay, never mind. Then.
Tell me how you really feel.
We're
A little aggressive.
Well, we all got to get aggressive. If you're aggressive this morning, we all got to step it
But
up.
I'm not aggressive at y'all. I'm just aggressive at Travis Kelce. What's the problem?
No, I'm just saying.
This makes me take a step back, Kayla. I'm all right. Will got us today. He's walking us to the VIP section.
Unlike most NFLers, Will has Ramon on his
He
heels.
does. All right now. I don't know what to expect today, Kayla. I legitimately don't.
Well, apparently I'm going to
off,
get punched
King.
in a box down the stairs. I guess you can expect that today.
I was speaking of you as a gift, okay? Just continue to bring you back every day.
Understand, for the first year and a half Ramon worked here, he threatened to throw people off the balcony. So
Exactly.
Don't worry
You
about
threatened
it.
to
I thought
waterboard
we
me
chose
daily.
violence on this show.
I did choose the waterboard.
Not at
you.
each other.
Violence
Oh,
is
we
still
choose
there.
violent at each other every day,
That's very true, Kayla.
whether we know it or not.
100%. You just weren't ready because Kayla matched your energy this
I didn't
morning.
deserve
That's
it.
what that was. No,
'Cause I didn't deserve it this week.
we were getting a little braggy on
Hey,
you this
you
morning.
were taking
We
all
were.
your hate out on Travis Kelce, which I thought did a fabulous job. And so I said, punch you down in the box.
And then as you're talking, when he said he did a fabulous job, he went,
He's fine.
he will not stop today.
I know. So I said, I'm coming back. then
SNL
we'll
hasn't
take
been
out
funny for 5 years anyway.
I'm not talking about
It's a
the
boomer
whole
take for me,
SNL.
but-
I'm talking about Travis Kelce's performance on SNL. That's all I was saying.
I'm just more focused on Kelsey Ballerini's performance.
Well, I don't think she's that great. So there you go.
Wow. Now
Hot
those
take.
are fighting words.
Sorry.
Those are fighting words. Preposterous
I know
statements
she-
being made by Kayla Anderson this
No,
morning.
you want to take a hit at Travis Kelce. I'm going to take a hit at the musical guest.
Musical guest.
Just called Kelsey.
Sorry.
And
Travis
call
Kelce or Kelsey Ballerini?
You call Kelsey
Yes,
Ballerina.
the answer is yes.
She ain't
Shot for
nothing.
shot.
Hey.
It's a Whopper commercial on right behind
No,
us too.
don't
as all
change
this
the
is happening.
subject.
Hardly know her. 615-737-1045. The number this morning. Yeah, since Seth Meyers left, Saturday Night Live has not been something that moves the needle for me. Not
No,
at all.
I don't usually watch it,
I
but
don't either.
Travis Kelce,
He did his thing,
he got
Kayla.
me. Have it your way.
I'm perfectly fine with Jonathan Schaefer just ambushing us with that
my
at any
God.
given moment.
Get him, Kayla.
Any given moment.
God, whoo.
6:27 a.m.
God.
Energy was matched.
Yeah, he has like some dating show too. Somebody on here is talking about, the chat is talking about the dating show that he has.
With Kelsey?
That's ridiculous.
Travis Kelce does?
Let's not have a dating show.
Does he bring
y'all.
in supermodels and then call them just like really girl next door?
I don't know.
Because he was on a supermodel team that he basically thought was just the girl next door. So just bring in some.
He gets so mad at these players.
Bring in some European models and this is this is just a sweet girl from down the road.
So
This is Jenny from the block.
He gets so mad at these guys.
I know. Speak your piece, Will. Kayla, I can't believe you went at his celebrity crush too, man.
Well,
What do you?
I ain't blaming you. I'm not. I just wasn't expecting this. You hit him
Well,
with
you
a
want me
body
to sit
shot.
here and like, ooh, I'm just gonna.
Hit him with what was that? A right or left into the body?
I don't know. I just use any body parts I have to knock someone out.
Hey.
Whatever's available.
Whatever.
And no, I'm not in a boot. Okay, I'm not in a boot. I'm completely
who
fine
are you
now.
talking to? What are you
Everybody
talking
who
about?
thinks I'm in a boot on the chat.
Who says? Oh Lord. Okay. All right. The chat.
Now I can use that boot
Always
if you need
around.
me to.
You can watch the show on 104.5 The Zone TV, YouTube, Facebook
There we
Live,
go.
Twitter, or
That's what I
Twitch.
was waiting for.
In the chat.
That's what I was waiting for.
Violence.
That's who we're talking to.
This Taco Tuesday, man. What the heck is wrong with y'all today?
Well, it's a Titans Tuesday.
Well, there we go.
There is a little bit to talk about.
Tacos. It is Taco Tuesday. Everybody should be in a great mood.
Ever wonder where the violence come from? Slay was on the chat saying, "Get him, KK."
He did.
Well, Michael Silver of Bally Sports wants to shove Derrick Henry in a box because
and throw him down the stairs.
he says the Titans are ready to ship that box elsewhere in the National Football League. Seamless transition this morning. It's okay. Take the surprise out your voice. The interesting
out your voice.
Thank you so much, Candace. The interesting thing about this story from Michael Silver, guys, is that it was buried about 1,200 words deep in an article about Aaron Rodgers. So if, by the way, we want to talk about being from underdog sports markets and underdog teams, that's what it's like to be from a small market underdog team.
Yeah.
Like the Tennessee Titans, where major franchise news that's as big as anything that's happened for your organization in 10 years. And it's buried 1,300 words deep in an article about dark spaces and Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Anyway, I'm off my soapbox.
Okay.
Says,
You, Aaron Rodgers.
according to my sources, he writes, all of them current general managers, Tennessee Titans running back Derrick Henry, Rams cornerback Brentwood native Jalen Ramsey, and Arizona Cardinals receiver DeAndre Hopkins are among the players who have been shopped in recent days.
Henry, Jalen Ramsey, and DeAndre Hopkins.
That's right.
That's a headliner for the for free agency right there, ain't it?
Yeah. We kind of knew DeAndre Hopkins was going to probably be on the move, right? And we've heard that about Jalen Ramsey in the past few weeks. Now, you have a little bit heard about Derrick Henry if you've listened to this show, because we've brought it up that could be a possibility.
Credit to Mr. Rhett Bryan, too.
Right.
100%.
I think Rhett kind of started that, not rumor, I'm not going to call it a rumor, but just kind of, this could happen.
Yeah. And to me, this states this is business. This is that time of the year where you start to try to figure out where are you as a team. And not just that, these are moves that I don't know if John Robinson would have made. Maybe if we'd have viewed it a whole lot different if it was John Robinson. And I also kind of took Rand's intro press conference by saying Derrick is a productive running back. That's how you judge running backs. He's not on the table, all those types of things. And now we get to the real, him and Vrabel's conversations was had. Inside the building conversations were had. Plans are being made now. And are you upset if that rumor is true? That's the next question I have is where is the validation in saying Derrick needs to be gone, or you're willing to look at trade options for Derrick Henry? That's where I question to say, are you sure? Like, is this what y'all want to do? Because if I can check my transcripts for a second, if y'all be okay, Derrick is up for trade. That's a REBU.
Oh, here he goes.
ILD.
Proud of you.
That's rebuild, if you're wondering.
We went to the same university. Will you hope we get that right?
Go Vols.
Go Vols. Okay. That's a whole rebuild right there, though.
It's starting to look like it.
The
more
conversation, Kayla. Yeah, more and more. Are we starting to like open up a little bit to this concept? I think you got Hassan, and I think you make another, push for another running back if that's the case. It's just that Derrick means so friggin' much to this city that it's bothersome to think about.
It's interesting because the Titans, I don't think, are ready for life after Derrick unless they completely tear it down and totally rebuild. So it's interesting to let two thoughts kind of conflict with each other at the same time. That I don't think Mike Vrabel and Rand Carthon are willing to totally tear it down this offseason. I view this news and this update as they're doing their due diligence on everybody on the roster and taking stock of everyone's value, knowing that nothing is really off the table except maybe getting rid of the quarterback. Like, I'm starting to believe, based on what we know, that if the Titans go get another quarterback, it's in addition to Ryan Tannehill. It's someone who they want to learn under Ryan Tannehill. I believe this team, from what we know now, from what we think we know at least, views Ryan Tannehill as Alex Smith and whoever they get next as the heir apparent.
So you're saying draft?
Either this draft or next would be my assumption.
Okay.
With the Derrick conversation, you mentioned the quarterback side of it. Like, I agree with you on that. I think the best method, because college quarterbacks don't have a whole lot of juice whenever they come out as far as understanding the league, it's probably best to babysit them for a year. But for the Derrick conversation, I want to hit real quick again is this for me. Are you willing to keep Derrick and watch Derrick be less than on the field? Because when it comes down to value, when it comes down to production, do you want to see the wheels come off is what I'm saying. Not an injury, but just – I feel like last year showed us a lot that, like, teams really had kind of figured you out when it comes down to how you operate offensively, how you if he's not working, then what's working. And I know Tannehill didn't have much production, much help, protection, or weapons. But what weapons do you have this year too? You got Chig, you got Traylon, you got Derrick again. You had that last year also with no offensive line. So with Derrick, with you facing City Hall every single play when he's running the ball, do you want to see Derrick average 2.3, 3.3 a carry? That's the problem I have with not trying to get value right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think, too, you're limiting the kind of skill players you can add when those skill players are in place to make Derrick Henry as good as possible. You're taking away a Jalen Hyatt, a Jordan Addison, a Devontae Smith in previous drafts. You're limiting the criteria that you can add at wide receiver, at tackle, at guard, at tight end. I think the Titans now have to realize that in order to prepare for life after Derrick Henry, your mold for picking skill players is no longer, well, hey, can he run block? Is he willing to do the dirty work? And my concern is that even after Derrick Henry goes, this team is just going to get another young running back and still turn its wide receivers into glorified tight ends on the perimeter. This needs to be an opportunity to modernize everything that you're doing and be more balanced. And that's why I think if Henry is gone, which I still don't think is going to happen, because I think you should absolutely kick the tires on everybody's value on this offense. This offense wasn't good enough for you to just sit there and run it back. It was terrible the last 7 games of the season. I think at this point, if Derrick Henry is traded and gone, Ryan Tannehill has to be gone too. Has to be. Because you are wasting your time then. You're not going to win a Super Bowl with an offense currently constructed the way it is without Derrick Henry. So you might as well see what you've got in another quarterback and put yourself in position to get Caleb Williams next season.
Yeah, but they're not doing that.
And they're not going to do that.
They are not getting rid of both Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry. I just don't see it. Maybe there's a 99% chance it's a 99% chance that they don't. Maybe there's a 1% chance that they do. But I would say, Will, like if you are going to just blow it up, that's what you would do. Absolutely, 100%. And then just use the quarterbacks right now that you have,
literally,
to then get you an early pick next year with some really good quarterbacks. Might I add? I might even say I'm more impressed with those quarterbacks coming out next year than these ones.
Yeah.
But I think just seeing the little bitty pieces start to kind of get put out there, like we're considering shopping Derrick or trading him. We're having talks with Jeffrey, but we're not sure yet. We're getting rid of Bud.
Yeah.
It is what it is. We're going to save money there. Like, they're making the moves now that make you think, okay, this team's serious. Like, this team is definitely trying to turn the corner. And whether you want to call it a rebuild or a retool or whatever, they're going to start making, I think, some really big moves. And again, I keep telling you guys this. I still think there's one more kind of surprise left.
If we're going through it, and I think there's at least 3 more left in it, if that's the case.
Surprises or just things that we think?
Maybe surprises, because we've yet to talk about Ben Jones.
That's right. I think Ben Jones needs a clear status on his just availability as an NFL player.
Yeah, come on, man.
In 2023, before the Titans can really make a decision on that.
Danico Autry.
I think so too.
Out or in?
I think the surprise would be out.
I agree. It's the one that makes the most sense.
Because of the injury,
Yeah.
age, and was very productive when he was on the field last year.
Yeah.
I don't discredit that. But when you look at money, age, and being injured the latter part of last year, if you were to do it, it would be now.
And Harold, he's going to be healthy next year, guys. Yeah, that's fine, but he's still coming off of the injury. It's not going to happen overnight. He's not going to be that Harold that he was prior to the injury right away. We got to remember that.
Let's go to John in the Borough before we go to break. 615-737-1045. What's going on, John?
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Before I get to the Titans, I just wanted to give a quick birthday shout out. A year ago, Ramon and Schaefer were the only ones on the show, and my daughter was born, and she's my firstborn.
Hey.
Nice.
And Ramon and Schaefer and someone who is no longer with the show actually gave me some really, really great advice and helped me get through it, and I really appreciate them.
Man, no doubt. Hopefully it was beneficial to you and you get some sleep.
Man, I got plenty of sleep. My wife did not, but I did. And so I guess I won the battle and not the war. Anyway, just moving on to the Titans. Guys, look, I'm going to say the same thing I said yesterday. We're not gonna move Derrick Henry unless they get some kind of, Godfather offer that they can't say no to. And I don't think you're gonna get that for Derrick Henry. I really don't, just because of the way that the league goes. I think that it's smart. I think that Rand is doing his due diligence. I think it's a smart play to see what's out there, to see what we can get. But I don't see us moving on from anybody just yet, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's also nothing wrong with reaching out and seeing what we can get for Big Jeff or Derrick Henry or Tannehill or anybody on this team. There's always an opportunity for an offer that is too great to pass up.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for the call, John. Appreciate it. 615-737-1045, our number. We'll continue to react to that coming up next, and also take a look at the financials from the Bud Dupree release and the tweet that then happened after Bud Dupree that was released that was not great. It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, 1045 The Zone. Hey, it's Will Bowling here for my friends at League Company. When was the last time you had your air ducts cleaned? Well, with allergy season starting, now is the perfect time to ensure you have the best air quality possible. If you don't know the last time your air ducts were cleaned, or if you're noticing more dust than usual around your home, then having your air ducts cleaned may be worth it for your family and for your home. Get 10% off your next duct cleaning with League Company by calling 615-567-1000 or going online to leaguecompany.com/promotions. That's 615-567-1000. Do what I do and trust the folks who have been trusted in Middle Tennessee for nearly 80 years. Get 10% off your next duct cleaning with League Company online at leaguecompany.com. That's League Company, all you need. It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone. March Madness, we sleep in May. Ron Slay coming up at 9:20 this morning. PFF Sam Monson at 8:20. Your phone calls at 615-737-1045. Ramon Foster dancing to the beat. Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling with you. So Bud Dupree officially released yesterday, not officially, but released by the Tennessee Titans yesterday. First reported by Ian Rappaport of NFL.com and NFL Network. And then Bud Dupree pulls an A.J. Brown and tweets something, then quickly deletes it, saying he found out about it on Twitter.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest with you. I texted him. I was like, bro, what the heck? No lie, we just talked the day before. We talked Sunday.
You and Bud did?
Yes.
Okay.
We talked on Sunday. He's like, bro, yeah, I ain't really heard from him. Because I told y'all in the chat, I was like, I don't know who it was, said that, they're trying to negotiate Bud down.
That's
Remember
right.
we had that conversation? I don't like to get into, like, friends' business when it comes to, like, what I report here. But I was like, bro, you good and everything? And he was just like, I hadn't heard from him. And next thing you know, yesterday, I hit him, was like, what the heck? We just talked. And he was like, I got no call. I said, nothing? He sent back 0. What? Look, I don't know what you're owed in this league when it comes down to that type of stuff. So I can't necessarily say I've been blessed enough to not have that phone call or be in that situation other than retiring. And I don't know the protocol for that type of stuff. I'd expect you want to tell a person over the phone, but if you've already paid out a person's that much, pay and salary, I guess you say, hey, you're good regardless. You'll be all right.
Well, eventually you're going to get in contact with them, but that's just the media world I feel like we live in now.
Yeah.
Twitter is so quick to just have the reports. That's what Twitter is, right? It's the immediate, get it out there. And then when the players see it or they hear, hey, buddy, go check Twitter, and Bud goes on there and checks Twitter, because I don't think Bud's on there a ton.
Not a ton.
According to his timeline, I don't think he tweets out a lot. But he goes on there and sees that. And then it's crazy, though, players usually just have that emotion. And the first thing they want to do is just tweet right back at something. And, he did say something, but he did delete the tweet. But it always is a bummer situation for players to not find out.
It is.
Via the team, but that's just the world we live in.
And I'm super pro player and that type of stuff.
Oh, me too.
So I'm just like,
Me too.
okay.
Is it possible the team had called his agent and his agent hadn't yet called him?
I would hope. He's with CAA, if
That's
I'm not
a
mistaken.
bad agent.
They got a good program. I don't know, unless there's an insider that got the news.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's the only thing I could think of too, Kayla. Like, hey, we're probably gonna cut him on Monday, and then somebody releases it to be what? First report guy.
Yep.
That's the thing, is it's hard without knowing all the details to just blame the team.
Yeah.
And I've talked to some guys about this before, like talking to a reporter at Tennessee when a coach was fired and said one of the biggest regrets that he had in his career was not giving the courtesy of checking with that coach to make sure that he was prepared to tell his family, hey, I'm going to put this report out that you're likely out. And sometimes there's a courtesy text there as a reporter that's reasonable. To say, hey, I just want you to be on the same page with me. I'm putting this out. I wanted to give you the courtesy of a 5-minute warning. With players, that's a little bit different sometimes. I don't know how that works with players versus coaches. I know that's the standard. When a coach gets fired, if you're breaking that story, you give that coach the courtesy of letting them tell their family first before their family hears about that on social media or in the news in some capacity.
I've had people reach out to me for teammates type stuff that they were covering. It's like, hey, you might want to let them know I'm about to drop this. And I was just like, whoa, wait a minute.
Really?
Yeah, that's happened before. It hit up a few of us on the team before. It's like, hey, I got this, and I'm probably going to drop it. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I've seen that happen. Team business.
Yeah.
Most of the time, like you said, you think the agents have that type of info or has been in communication with the player and agent. But this happens often, though. And that's why players get bitter and stuff like that, too. So it's all part of the game.
The question is now, because I don't think I've seen anything on this, correct me if I'm wrong, is Bud technically released now and they're saving about 9, or is he going to be released after, what is it, June?
June 1st.
June 1st.
There has not been a designation given
That's
yet.
my question.
And essentially the Titans have to decide, is cutting him before June 1st worth having about $5 million extra dollars to spend early in free agency. Parting ways with Bud Dupree, who has a 5-year, $82.5 million deal that he signed in 2021, saves the Titans $9.35 million against the salary cap while incurring a dead cap of $10.8 million if it's before June 1st.
Correct.
So essentially, you get that money after June 1st. It's later spending that you have and money to move around that you can't use until then. The Titans also have the option to cut him post June 1st, which would save $15.75 million, decreasing the dead cap hit to 4.4. So essentially, is $6.5 million worth waiting until June 1st? Probably not.
Probably not.
I would imagine that he's a pre-June 1st cut, and you're not going to save that extra $6 million.
Well, especially you have free agency starting next week.
Right.
Yep.
That's the thing. Is if you're doing that, then you're talking about money made for extensions for your own guys, which you've got a big one to give with
Jeffrey Simmons.
Jeffrey Simmons.
Nate Davis wouldn't mind a few of those too.
And he wouldn't either, but I think on the open market by that point,
I know. I don't
think
Nate's
he's lasted
staying.
to June 1st.
I think a lot of people starting to realize how bad offensive line play is too. And if you're somewhat serviceable,
they're going to snag you up.
They're going to have a good market.
Coming up next, as we begin hour 2, we reset the busy Titans Tuesday headlines on Bud Dupree's release and Derrick Henry potentially being shopped around the NFL. Plus, what the guy who reported the Derrick Henry story says about one team he doesn't expect to enter the Derrick Henry sweepstakes. That's next on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, 104.5 The Zone.
7:01. Good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com Sports Desk. According to reports, the Titans are expected to release linebacker Bud Dupree. A pre-June 1st designation would clear up over $9 million in cap space. According to Mike Silver of Bally Sports, Derrick Henry was among the players being shopped at the NFL Scouting Combine. The Seahawks and quarterback Geno Smith have agreed on a 3-year, $105 million deal, which includes $52 million in the first year. The 32-year-old Smith is the NFL's comeback player of the year. Derek Carr agreed to a 4-year contract with the New Orleans Saints. Reportedly, the deal could potentially be worth up to $150 million and includes up to $100 million in guarantees. Carr will receive 60 fully guaranteed at signing and will earn $60 million in the first 2 years of the deal. To the NHL, Vancouver 4, Nashville 3 in a shootout. NBA coming up tonight, Grizzlies at Lakers, 9 o'clock the tip for that. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Hour number 2 on the Tuesday morning edition continues. It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors. And coming up, Sam Monson of Pro Football Focus joins us at 8:20 as his website and a podcast in the PFF network has some interesting comments about what the Titans may or may not do with with their number 1 pick.
Hellman's.
Plus, Ron Slay in hour number 4. I'm just going to keep going
Mayonnaise is
at
Andy
9:20. And lots more still to
Coleslaw.
come beyond that. Yeah, Andy Staples has been fighting the good fight on social media in his crusade against coleslaw, as always. Over the weekend.
Coleslaw.
Yeah, but part of it's because he hates mayonnaise. So, I mean, I think coleslaw sometimes is an innocent bystander to his anti-mayo stance.
Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson. That's the voice of one Jonathan Schaefer.
By the way, I saw
Best
Andy
producer in the
Staples.
world. Now I'm finished. Go ahead.
All right.
I like mayonnaise.
I like Ratchet Will, man. Yeah. Throwing a glitch in his plans, Kayla, does wonders for us, man. You know that? Like,
So what's his plans usually?
he had to go through the intro and we didn't allow him right there because we was being ratchet. And now Will's ratchet.
Nathaniel!
Look at him. He's looking at his
No.
phone now. I hate these people.
That's like that one day.
I just got my daily email that my password expired.
Oh, shoot. I've got to do that too. Is that a real thing or is that a phishing email?
It depends on
We don't know.
Dang
Don't
it.
answer it either way.
Dang it. I thought it was phishing, so I just didn't touch it.
By the way, Andy Staples, I saw him on that SEC network last night. Those, if y'all hadn't checked out the, what is it, Southern Hoops?
True South on Southern Hoops.
True
yeah.
South?
True South.
True South
Hey,
is good. Yeah.
dog, hear me out. That's legit. If
Right.
you want to just go, and then especially with the SEC tournament about to come up again too, it is a legit show. Watching Simone, what's it? Simone Augustine? August? What is it? LSU women's basketball. Simone Augustine. Her. She was cold
You did
blooded.
not prepare me for this question.
I know I
Oh
did,
my
but
gosh.
watching
The head coach?
Augustus.
Simone Augustus.
The head
Golly, I'm
coach?
tripping.
I remember that.
No, Simone Augustus.
Player.
Is she the head coach? The player.
Yeah.
Watching
she's
the
good.
trends of like uniform. Y'all, the baggy shorts.
Mm-hmm.
She's out here crossing people over with like balloon-sized shorts on her, man. I was
Candace
hot.
Parker was dunking in long shorts.
No, in a long tee.
Take the surprise
That's
out your
tough.
voice.
Take the surprise out your voice.
She was playing the national championship game in a long T-shirt.
Can I meet Candace Parker
Yes.
at some point? I love her so
You
She
much.
had-
should come on the
yet?
show. Can she
love
not come on the show?
Candace.
I felt like we've been in.
we get her on the show?
I felt like we've been in Knoxville with Candace. You hadn't seen her?
No. Well, she was on the field when we were there for the Florida game. But we didn't go up to, we talked to, I mean, I swear we talked to everyone else on that field. We even saw Nico. We didn't see
did.
Candace.
Yeah, it wasn't like Moan dapping up Peyton before the Alabama
I
game.
mean, it was a drive-by. I mean, Will's got his number.
It was a drive-by, but you still dapped him up.
I mean, yeah.
I
I
mean,
was
that's
almost
just-
named Peyton.
You was almost named Peyton.
Have we not had this conversation? I was this close to being named Peyton.
What changed?
Breaking sports news on 104.5 The Zone.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I was almost named Peyton. There you go.
Oh my God.
Stop the presses.
And I was almost named Brianna.
For
Oh,
real?
there you go.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Perfect. Anyway.
What were you almost named?
Ramon. That was it. It's interesting.
There was
Me-
no other
All right.
Not that
separate.
there was no other name. We're all RSs. I'm Ramon Santel, Renardo Santonio,
my gosh.
Ronald Sylvester. My dad was
Yeah.
somewhat of a big
Ronald
shot.
Sylvester Aloysius.
Aloysius. My brother was Rodney's middle name. Rodney Carney. I forget his middle name though. Half brothers.
But it's an
S.
S. Stanley.
I
or
would think
something.
so.
Yeah.
Big news on a Titans Tuesday from Monday afternoon yesterday on Michael Silver of Bally Sports. His piece saying that he believes the Titans, according to current general manager sources around the league, believe that Derrick Henry, in addition to Jalen Ramsey, Nashville native, Antioch native, who attended Brentwood Academy, and Cardinals receiver DeAndre Hopkins are among the players who have been shopped in recent days. And then you get Bud Dupree being released as well yesterday, and Bud Dupree telling us, like we just told you, that he found out on Twitter when that happened. Michael Silver with an interesting response to a Bills fan on Twitter yesterday because the Bills quickly became the betting favorites if Derrick Henry is going to be traded to at plus 300. The Bills were the betting favorites to trade for Derrick Henry. Silver adding in a tweet yesterday, quote, "I do not expect the Bills to make a run at Henry."
I'm a little surprised by that.
I am too.
I'm a little surprised by that. Good running back class always is, and I think what Kansas City has shown is you can do more with less, meaning late round guys too. And then, of course, with Jacobs coming out this year, you got Derrick Henry. That's a potential candidate.
Jacobs got franchised.
He did get franchised.
Yes, he did.
yesterday with all the other crazy news that
I
came
know.
out.
I missed that piece of news then. What do Bills need? You'd say running, but that's going to cost them.
That's the thing. I think Derrick Henry would be that pick.
They need their quarterback
That
to make
fit.
better decisions
you beat
and not
me
be
to it.
Brett Favre.
I was going to say they need their quarterback
go.
making $30 million to not
we
throw
go.
17 interceptions.
Yeah.
That's what the Bills need.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of a little late down the road if that's not going to change.
Well, you could. I mean, it's probably more staff changes that guy needs now with Kafka gone.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, not Kafka gone.
No.
With
Who's taking the year off? Defense.
well, that's defense.
That's
Yeah.
Leslie Frazier.
That's Leslie
Yeah.
Frazier.
Yep. As far as Derrick in the running back market goes, and him not being on the Bills' radar, you're gonna also have Zeke available. If I'm not mistaken, Leonard Fournette is available this year too.
Is Zeke up?
Well, they're trying to make a decision from what I'm seeing on him and Pollard. Like Pollard's due to be paid.
Pollard got
Well,
franchised.
these
got tagged.
franchised.
Yeah.
You got to work through that too.
I
So
don't
you're
know
gonna
if-
pay him and Zeke?
I
I
don't.
don't think at running back it's in your best interest to
Franchise.
come to a long-term deal with him. It's in your best interest to tag him. Unless you just want to lower the cap hit and pay it more up front. Like I mean, it's only $11 million.
Are you willing to pay Zeke that premium still?
No.
And that's why I'm like,
Yeah,
that's why
Zeke-
he's probably on the market.
Derek up here.
Yeah,
Zeke
Zeke kind of.
very trending much quicker down.
I think
Zeke's like a second or third tier running back for me in the NFL right now.
I think the pressure performing got him.
Yeah.
How old is he? Because Derek's gonna be 30, right?
Yeah, I think 30.
And
going
I
into
don't
this
think
one.
Zeke's but 28.
Zeke is 27.
Okay, there we go. He's not even man.
30.
And
Zeke's only 27?
Yeah.
Yes.
I know.
We know we party hard, y'all. We knew that.
Interesting, per ESPN stats and info, Tony Pollard ranked 4th among running backs last year in yards per touch at 5.9. Ezekiel Elliott, last,
Yep.
3.9.
Get out.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Let's go to the phone, 615-737-1045, and go to Mark, hanging out with us this morning. What's going on, Mark?
Good morning, Miss Kayla. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, I ain't talked to you in a very long time, and I just heard the news across my social media page, and I got 2 questions. One, is it a definitely possibility we lose Derrick? And 2, are we rebuilding this year?
Ramon salivating
Mark.
over here.
I do not think that Derrick Henry is going to be traded. I think the Titans are doing their due diligence.
They're doing their due diligence. There's a lot of conversation from front office people around this team right now. I don't think we've had this serious conversation about Derrick Henry being traded. Like, what do you need? Because even Brian McFadden texted me yesterday. It's like, man, is this true about Derrick? And I'm like, man, it seems to be. So what's a haul? He said Derrick deserves a haul of a trade. Two twos?
A second and a third.
A second and a third. If we're getting a second and a third for Derrick Henry, y'all, I'm taking it.
Did we say Christian McCaffrey was a second? He got a second, third.
Fourth round.
Carolina got second.
Carolina ended up getting a second, a third, and a fourth round selection
I'm just
this year.
trying to compare it to
and
something.
And a fifth round pick for next year in 2024 draft.
And that's a different back, right? We can agree on that.
Yeah. You got to be specific if you're looking for Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, he either is your premier runner or he's a role player. He's your premier runner here or a role player somewhere else because teams are looking for 3-down backs. And I ain't saying Derrick can catch because we don't know as far as or his catching game.
That's not his first natural.
But I don't want to knock him because they choose not to do it as often here. So that's where I'm at with, okay, what are you trading Derrick for? Just to beat people up in your division? Like, what division will Derrick, go in and satisfy?
That's why he said the Bills, and I think it's crazy that that's the report now that they're not interested because that seems to be the best fit. Plus, it's a cold weather city, which would be also good.
Running backs in Miami. Who's there? Because I'm just trying to think of
running backs for the Dolphins.
Jeff
Wilson, who ran Carthon, helped ship to Miami.
You see what I'm saying?
Y'all, the Detroit Lions.
There we go.
Makes a lot of sense.
There's one.
Lions, who are also in the Jalen Ramsey sweepstakes as well, who we're going to get to the story from Mike Sando of The Athletic either later on today or tomorrow, are being linked with corners in their early round picks. If they traded for Derrick Henry, they could draft a corner. If they traded for Jalen Ramsey, they could go Bijan Robinson. I mean, Lions are in a decent spot being linked to pretty much everybody at this point. And honestly, I think we are all still in agreement of what we've said all summer, that the rebuild started when the Titans traded A.J. Brown last year.
Yeah. Whether you like it or not.
The rebuild didn't just start. It's been happening.
Yeah.
This is now year 2 of a rebuild that you can reset a little bit, and maybe by 2024, you feel like the rebuild can already be over, and you can be competitive. But in this division, maybe you can still be competitive in 2023 in the middle of a rebuild. Who knows?
That's the thing. You've been competitive, though.
That's right. In this division, it's hard not to be, honestly. 615-737-1045 is the number. More of your phone calls on the other side. And the biggest takeaway that I have from the Henry trade rumor is, does this tell us that the Titans are willing to change their offensive philosophy? Or does it just mean that a new running back is going to maybe be at the center of the same philosophy moving forward in 2023? That's the question we'll ask coming up next. It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will. 104.5 The Zone. It's Tuesday morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone.
Love me.
Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling, Jonathan Schaefer, our producer, as we go to the phones. 615-737-1045, discussing Derrick Henry being shopped around the NFL, Bud Dupree's release, and much, much more on a Titans Tuesday. And we go abroad, international, as we always do on this show. Michael in London, hanging out with us this morning, or this afternoon, I should say, this morning. What's going on, Michael? How are you?
What's up, Michael?
Hello, Ramon, Kayla, and Will. How are you guys?
We're good.
Michael, it's been a minute. It's great to hear your voice again.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, it's been a combination of work, time difference, and all that, but I've been keeping in touch with it. But I've got to say, I was shocked when I got in the car and it popped up that Henry was being traded. Like, traded for what? You know, like, a couple of things there. Let me just get in this long provocation because this is beginning to annoy me now. So everybody's talking about the rebuild, and with all due respect, is this really a rebuild, or is this us trying to just make up for some of the ridiculous signings we've had over the years under Robinson, where people have just been bought in, paid a lot of money, like Bud Dupree, and we haven't really got the return on investment. I think with Henry, that's a big shock. Is what I think is needed, and I mentioned this in a couple of the calls, was we were wasting his best years away. We just needed something different to back him up. And you have a 1-2 punch of Henry's power and somebody else's quickness. But the way we're trading people and releasing people, I'd be surprised if Amy Adams-Strunk isn't released by the end of this week. It's ridiculous. But I think the other issue is it's all well and good bringing people in. We've still got the issue of we don't even know what kind of team we are, because the play itself, it's just been so mishmash and so up and down that you couldn't really trust that even if you brought the right people in, they'd be used the right way. Kelly gave an interview last week, the offensive guy, I don't know if you guys spoke about that. And it was so underwhelming. It was like being sponsored by an ice cream company in Siberia. It was terrible. Talking about the weather, talking about, we're going to continue what we were doing. Like, what are you talking about? We were terrible. We were rubbish. So for God's sake, I hope if we bring some of these people in, wherever they are, and I think Henry should stay, I hope we're able to get the style of play right. And then, have some kind of variety to the play, for heaven's sake. So, I don't know what you guys think, but that's my rant of the day. But, I don't know. If we're just releasing these guys to make money, and if we make the money, what are we going to do with it? And when we do get them in, how are we going to play them? So I just think there are problems on both sides. And this is where I think Vrabel needs to step up and show us something different this year. And I hope Kelly definitely shows us something different. That's my take.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate the call.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Come
Michael.
on, you Gunners. Big win over the weekend. At the weekend, I should say. So this is an interesting topic, and Michael brings up the exact question that I was going to ask to both of you. Does the trade rumor and the Titans' ability to shop Derrick Henry mean that they are willing to change their offensive philosophy? Or does it mean in a really good running back draft class that they feel like they can save money and get the same amount of production in a first or second round running back pick in this year's draft?
Which one does it mean? I think it's changing the offensive philosophy as far as operating. I don't think you attract enough good guys around that can play this style of offense for this long. Receivers want to do what? Catch the ball. Tight ends want to be able to get out and catch balls also. Like finding a group of offensive linemen that's going to be able to deliver in this capacity to the way the Titans operate is going to be harder too, because most teams have pretty much grabbed as many guys they possibly can due to the the practice squad and whatnot. You find yourself in a box when you operate like this offensively. I think it's got to be a philosophy change. I think if you move past Derrick, whether it's Tannehill or whether it's somebody behind him, you still have the ability to progressively move forward with the style of offense you're looking for. I'm not saying this style of offense is archaic, But, guys, it's a hard day at the job when you know you got to go fight 11 people in the box every weekend. And I think that, to me, you're not built to do that this year currently as it stands. Unless, Will, Kayla, listeners, they just buy in free agency.
So I think that Rand Carthon, when he came in here and he was asked about running the ball and basing your offense around Derrick Henry, he didn't completely shut it down, right? He did say that that's what you need when you get into the playoffs. You need to have that balance. So he didn't want to completely get away from the fact that Derrick Henry could still be a big part of this team. But he also never said for sure, like, this is going to be the future moving forward. I think right now, and Michael brought up a great point, it's just it's like mishmash everywhere because nothing right now, as we can see it offensively, is clear because there are so many decisions that have to be made. We're talking about it every day, the quarterback position, the running back position, the wide receivers. Like, what exactly direction is this going in? And I think it doesn't happen overnight, right? I don't think you just snap your fingers with a new GM and say, hey, this is our new philosophy. I think that it kind of turns into what they're looking at it being, and I don't know what that is yet, but it's not getting rid of everybody at the same time. Right. I think it's going to slowly fade out the Derrick Henry days, the Ryan Tannehill, but it's not going to happen all at once this year.
No.
I think they have direction. I think they know what direction they want to go in, but they're going to just be a little more patient with how it's going to fade out or pan out. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you on that one, Kayla. And to me, too, if one question is the quarterback position. This is the thing, too, when it comes down to finding or wanting to elevate your team's quarterback play. We just witnessed yesterday, y'all, a quarterback who was a franchise guy in Las Vegas, had already gotten a big contract and got released because why? He's not the guy for them. He's not the fit for them. You know what that guy did? He went to another team that also gave him over $100 million. And what I'm saying is this. If you believe Tannehill's not the guy, you're not willing to wait on a dude or trade up for a guy in this draft or next year's draft also, you're still going to be paying a premium for a throwaway type of guy that nobody else wanted. And I say that in the sense of Jimmy G. I say that in the sense of Derek Carr. Lamar's not in that conversation. I think he's either going to be tagged or signed somewhere ASAP. But there's other guys out there, Sam Darnold. I mean, think about your pool that you're pulling quarterbacks out of if Tannehill's not the guy or you're not willing to trade up and get more capital or develop a guy, like legitimately develop one.
I hope that Derrick Henry being shopped means the Titans are willing to evolve offensively into a more modern offense.
There we go.
I worry that it means they believe they can win with the same formula by adding a younger, more all-purpose running back. That's my concern for this team, is that, hey, guys, we're already in too deep in this kind of formula. I'm concerned that Mike Vrabel still thinks that in 2023, running the football and playing good defense is the best way to win a Super Bowl. And I think that the Tim Kelly hire gives us a hint on which way they are headed. If the Titans really wanted to evolve offensively and change its mentality and mindset, they wouldn't have promoted Tim Kelly. They would have tried harder or maybe waited for Matt Nagy or Eric Bieniemy or done their due diligence in that way. And we'll never know what conversations they did have with Justin Alton and with Charles London for the offensive coordinator job, because we haven't gotten a lot of clarity as to what happens on that offensive staff, except for the couple times we get to talk to the offensive coordinator. We didn't get to talk to Tim Kelly last year. No. We don't know what different ideas he has or what other roles there are within that offensive coaching staff. The hint that we have, though, is that it wouldn't surprise me if the Titans would draft an early round running back in this draft to replace Derrick Henry either this year or next.
So we off Hassan Haskins?
Yes.
No.
Not as an all-purpose back.
Not as an all-purpose back, but he was known as that coming out, though, wasn't he? He has the ability to be that.
How many guys, though, are known as all-purpose college backs who never become all-purpose backs in the NFL?
I'd almost say in his scenario, we didn't get an opportunity to see it because Derek take all the reps. And the reps that he got, I thought were very, very good reps, Will.
So behind this line, no.
You're saying add to Hassan.
Yeah.
So to your point, so you want 3 premier running backs?
I'm not saying I want it. I'm saying that's what the organization's going to want.
He says no Derrick.
I just don't
right?
know if you're getting a running back in this draft, then Derrick's not here, is how I see it.
I don't think that's true.
Oh, so you think, okay. You're
Because-
saying draft a run. Okay.
Draft a running back.
Okay.
A second or third rounder?
Remember when they drafted Derrick Henry, DeMarco Murray was still on this team. They had DeMarco Murray and Derrick Henry in the same running back room. Yes, I get it. That was a different regime. That was a different general manager who is no longer here. I'm saying that proof of concept is out there to bring in your heir apparent at the running back position before your current guy is off the team.
You know why I will still push back on this one is because, to me, we saw Hassan Haskins be able to kick return, punt return last year. That shows me he has speed. That shows me that he has the ability to play at a faster pace than Derrick Henry. And I'll say this too, more efficiently than what we've seen Derrick Henry run. Also, that to me is the side of it where I believe in having him as a premier back, and you go draft another young dude instead of having Derrick, Hassan, and another young dude. Like, okay, well, let me ask you just to dive into the detail. Well, where are you getting this running back? First, second, or third round?
Again, me personally, I'm not doing any of this.
Okay.
What I believe the Titans might do is Jahmyr Gibbs is sitting there in the second round. Zach Charbonnet is sitting there in the second or third round. Bijan Robinson is there in the first round who you could trade back and get.
So I'm going to add to just this whole thing. I don't think that happens unless Derrick gets traded. Period. Because I don't think they're giving up on Hassan in any way, and I just think it would be hard to have 3.
Yeah.
However, this is such a deep running backs class. There's some really, really good talent. And if this, Rand Carthon, Mike Vrabel fall in love with a back where they can see that value and they can see them being a guy moving forward, that's maybe also a reason why you kind of shop around Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
And you hope to get, one of these guys or trade, whatever you got to do to get the guy you are, because it's all about fit, right? Mm-hmm. If you see that guy fitting in your system and that's what you think you can do moving forward, having that guy work, and Derrick's best days are behind him, that's how I see this working out.
And I'd add this, if they are going for 3 running backs, I think you make yourself uber predictable too. That's where I would be at, because if Derrick's coming off and you putting Jahmyr Gibbs in, they're passing the ball, y'all. He's definitely not a pass protector. You know what I'm saying? So he's getting out in coverage is how I look at a scenario like that. It's this Derrick trade stuff is wild. It can take us like so many different places, and I'm here for it because it's a new regime in which they need to operate under. I think everybody in the city who's Titans fans or covered the NFL in general say to yourself, yeah, it works until it doesn't. And it stops in the playoffs is where it stops for the Titans the last 2 years or the second half of the season. That's where the issue comes into play. You're good until it stops. And most teams catch up to that when it starts to really dig down deep into like playoff scenarios or in the playoffs.
And again, I'm not saying the Titans should draft a running back behind Derrick Henry to be a third guy.
Right.
I'm saying the way this organization has operated in the past, I could absolutely see them doing it. Because promoting Tim Kelly gives us the hint that they want to win with the same style of football. And Rand Carthon using the same argument now twice at the Combine and at his introductory press conference about not wanting to play Golden State Warriors football and wanting to run the football when the weather gets cold. Okay, well, clearly there is still an emphasis on the running back position and bringing in somebody else to diversify that position who can be an all-purpose guy and perhaps make you a little less predictable. The way I'm going to go with this, though, that is my opinion.
Yeah.
Hassan Haskins behind this offensive line, not a feature back.
So is
not
Derrick,
behind this line.
So is Derrick a feature back behind
Anyone
this
behind this
line
isn't anything.
Well, Derrick was the number 2 rusher in the NFL behind this line to show you how much that guy is still him.
Right, and that's why I don't think they're going to move him yet.
I agree.
Okay, let me go ahead and just do this one. It's also AFC South defenses. Like, are we got to kind of acknowledge that too.
What do you?
Meaning,
sorry, expand.
It's their defenses in the AFC South aren't that good.
Okay,
this
well,
last year.
Jacksonville's getting better.
They're getting better, and we saw what the results of that was. Is you end up beating the Titans. So I think Derrick runs over Houston, runs over Indy,
yes,
and it's been proven to be the case.
Mm-hmm.
And like that has to be established too. Then that we're talking about competing like. These teams around you, though, to that point, are starting to grow up too.
I agree.
And that's worrisome.
But I don't think it's right.
Fan.
I don't think it's this year. I wouldn't be too worried this year. I think Derrick can still do what Derrick can do if you patch up that line a little better. Right?
So what's our end goal this year then? If we're saying run it back, is it just be above
not
500?
Run it back.
You know what I'm saying? Like
we're not using the run it thing. Let's make that clear.
Who run it?
Don't use the song that none of the season ticket holders actually know.
I know that song back and forth. I know
we
I
ran it
one
though.
off on that one. We did ran it.
Rand is running it right now.
I think it's do whatever you can do to fix the things that need to be fixed. And there's a lot of things, guys. I'm not saying that it's going to happen right away. But because this is such a Mike Vrabel mindset, takes the identity of the head coach team, yeah, they're going to do everything they can to compete. Now, is that going to happen? Are they going to win the AFC South? Are they going to win 10 games? I don't know. Right. But I feel like they're still going to try to do everything they can to make that happen with what they can fix.
Let me expand on what Ramon's saying just a bit. Going back to what Mike Vrabel has said, and you've heard the audio here on this station, that Mike doesn't think as many things are broken as other people do. So Ramon's saying run it back. Mm-hmm. I think there's that fear of, are we going to have a philosophy change? Are we really going to change things? Or are we going to patchwork an offensive line together and try to run it back that way?
Yes.
That's the fear.
That's what I was.
But you're drafting guys, hopefully, right? On the line, and you're maybe going to sign a free agent.
I don't know how many guys in house are starters with this team right now on this offensive line.
No, that's not. I'm saying you got to start there.
615-737-1045 is the number. We'll continue the discussion. Take your phone calls at 615-737-1045. Coming up on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, 1045 The Zone.
It's Ramon and Kayla for Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, and they are the heating and cooling company that can take care of all of your HVAC needs. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling is a proud Rude Pro partner and a Mitsubishi Diamond contractor, and it is getting hot early this year. If you haven't already booked your spring tune-up for your AC unit, now is the time. Through the month of March, get your AC tune-up for just $79 and get the fall tune-up for free. And did you just turn on the AC unit and realize quickly it wasn't working like it should? Don't wait until peak summer to get it repaired. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling offers free service calls with their repairs, plus low monthly payments on those repairs, Kayla.
And if you're thinking about putting it off, please don't. Yesterday was 80 degrees. We're only going to continue to see those temperatures rise once we get out of March here. And we really rely on our family, our friends at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. It really is a family-owned and operated company with over 20 years of experience. Not many companies can say that. It's a family-owned business. They're known for their outstanding customer service because it's not a company reputation, y'all. It is actually their family name that they put it on the line for every single day. They deliver all the services that those bigger corporate guys might offer, but they actually deliver it with friendliness of family. The Spring Hill Heating and Cooling family, responding promptly to your issues. They get the problem solved quickly and accurately.
And this is the thing. If you do need a new unit, they've got you covered too. Get it done now and get 18 months of no payments. You heard us right. If you buy a new unit today, you won't have to pay until August of 2024. That's 2 natural summers of having your home perfectly cool. Seems like a no-brainer. Again, go to springhillac.com and be sure to tell them that Ramon and Kayla sent you.
Check them out.
1045 The Zone's 2023 Spring Golf Classic presented by Ferguson HVAC. April 10th at Greystone Golf Club, just a little more than a month from right now. Teams are limited, so purchase your team now before they're gone. To purchase a team, visit 1045thezone.com. Again, our Spring Golf Classic, April 10th at Greystone Golf Club in Dixon.
Looking forward to that. We'll be in the building that day, that morning. I might be on the golf cart after that.
Ooh.
Perhaps losing golf balls and other sorts of things. Who's to say? 615-737-1045 is our number. This morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, and Will Bowling with you as we go to the phones and go to Mo in Nashville. First up, what's going on, Mo?
So, Mo?
Oh, yeah, how you doing, guys?
Good.
So I just have like two questions for y'all, if you don't mind. And it's like a quick statement. So I think it's so disrespectful that Derrick's name's even in headlines like this, that he's going to get traded. I think what he's done for the city is like, you haven't seen anything like this. Like, he's just different from any other back in the league. Like, his aura is just different. I've been to some of these games, like that playoff game against the Bengals. His aura is just different. So my question is, what do you guys think he's thinking right now? Because this is all over social media. Everybody has social media. And I just wonder what he's thinking right now, that his name is being thrown around like this. And my last question is, what do you think this team is at if John Robinson doesn't make that trade for Tannehill in 2019? Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mo.
That was a great
Whoa,
question.
that was a little even more of a different take.
Yeah, I want the first one. Can I get this one?
You may.
Mo is business, bro. It just is. Players see it. Players embrace it. You embrace all of this when you come into the league. You said, Derrick's aura was crazy for that playoff game, and you lost, though. Derrick didn't have 100 yards in that game. Like, it's purely business when it comes down to it. Like, feelings go out of it. Bud got released yesterday and didn't get a call. Like, there's so many guys that got released. Derek Carr made mockery of the Pro Bowl when he was like, best completions I've had here. They cut him while he had to represent his team at the Pro Bowl. It's purely business. I promise you that. And that's simply how I've always kind of looked at it, and you kind of adapt that type of stuff. Yes, they hear it. Yes, we get all the tweets and everything that come behind it. Emotions and business is two different things, man.
So Derrick Henry is different, and I agree with you. He's just got a different everything about him.
He is.
I've never witnessed somebody like that in person over the last several years at that position, dominate like he does, come back from a foot injury like he does, and kind of not really skip a beat. But it is a business. Unfortunately, these players kind of know, especially once they get older, what is on the table, right? And they have to kind of have it in the back of their mind that anything can happen, especially when you get a new GM that had nothing to do with you. As much respect as everybody has for Derrick Henry, including Rand Carthon, I know that for a fact. At the end of the day, they got to do what is best for this Titans team moving forward. And that is not saying that they're going to get rid of Derrick this year. That is not what we're saying. He's being shopped supposedly. But Derrick, you want to know what he's doing right now? He's in the gym. He's working out. He's going to do everything he can to be Derrick Henry next year wherever he is. I can say that for a fact because he's a pro. As for the trade to get Ryan Tannehill, I don't think they'd ever go to anything playoff-wise because Marcus Mariota wasn't the guy. Or he couldn't have gotten it done, I don't think, at that point because he was dealing with so many injuries. I think that's the best thing, one of the best things John Robinson did was bring Tannehill here.
Easily.
Really for nothing.
615-737-1045, our number. Let's go to Donna real quick on the phone lines before we get to halftime of the show. Good morning, Donna.
Morning.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. Good morning.
Morning. I just want to comment a little bit on the aura of Derrick Henry. The gentleman sounded a little younger, but I could be wrong. But if those who remember Steve McNair and his aura, what he brought and did for the city and how he was so loved, but yet he was still traded. And there are a number of those stars, D-Mace, Warren Moon. I can go on and on.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it is, yes, it's a business, but the owners care about the fans, but as long as they can find the next one to mesmerize us, to keep coming to the games, they're going to default to that as well as to keep this business, at the top of the line. So as players age out, especially running backs, but unfortunately Stephen Ayer got hurt a lot, one of my favorites ever of all time.
Oh, yeah.
And he still went to our rival.
Yeah.
The Ravens. Golly. That was painful. That really hurt in two ways. But it's going to happen time and time and time again as long as they know, as long as they can rely on the fans to keep coming to the games, to keep watching the games. And so they're willing to take that risk. When they believe the timing is right, they're willing to take that risk as long as they can get that next big thing for the fans.
Absolutely
right on,
right.
Donna.
Thank you for the
Right
call,
on.
Donna. And I think that's that's kind of where you're at of this league. That if you're getting rid of a guy a year too soon, you're likely still winning. You're likely the New England Patriots getting rid of Malcolm Butler when they did. I mean, honestly.
I'm
And
laughing
Deion Lewis
in
when they
agreement
did.
with you. Yeah.
That's the way the Patriots sustained all the success they had. They had Tom Brady, and they got rid of the guys around Tom Brady and around their foundation a year sooner than their fans might have liked them to. And most of the time when you do that, it works out for you because the guy's only getting older in every circumstance. 615-737-1045, the number. Totally right, by the way, about Steve McNair and the aura that guy had.
That's all I've ever heard.
My gosh. Whew.
And he got cut, too.
Legend. Sent to Baltimore.
Wow.
Still hurts. Coming up next, we reset the headlines, take a look at the financials on Bud Dupree's release, what that means for the Titans cap situation, whether it is pre or post June the 1st. That's coming up as the second half begins under Ramon, Kayla, and Will, 104.5 The Zone.
8:02, good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com sports desk. According to reports, the Titans are expected to release linebacker Bud Dupree. A pre-June 1st designation would clear up over $9 million in cap space. And according to Mike Silver of Bally Sports, Derrick Henry among players being shopped at the NFL Scouting Combine. The Seahawks and quarterback Geno Smith have agreed on a 3-year deal, which includes $52 million in the first year. Derek Carr agreed to a 4-year contract with the New Orleans Saints. Carr will receive $60 million fully guaranteed at signing and will earn $60 million in the first 2 years of the deal. To the ice, Vancouver 4, Nashville 3 in a shootout to the association tonight. Grizzlies at Lakers, 9 o'clock, the tip-off. 3 Vols earned postseason honors in men's college basketball as voted upon by the league's coaches. Santiago Vescovi, first team All-SEC. Zakai Ziegler, second team and all-defensive team. And Julian Phillips, all-freshman team. Vanderbilt's Liam Robbins, SEC Defensive Player of the Year and All-SEC First Team. Jerry Stackhouse, Co-Coach of the Year. For all foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Into hour number 3 this morning, 8 a.m., rocking and rolling on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. Coming up, Sam Monson of Pro Football Focus joins us as we discuss if the Titans have enough draft capital to just burn this whole thing down and get a new quarterback. Wow! This NFL draft season, maybe with Ryan Tannehill still on the roster, perhaps. Who's to say? Ron Slay coming up as well in hour number 4. And the whole crew is here for the next 2 hours. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, and Jonathan Schaefer, our producer.
The best producer in the world!
And my name is Will Bowling. And we have actually a legitimate update on Aaron Rodgers that does not involve the words dark and places.
You, Aaron Rodgers.
Will, I waited
He's
to
out
not
of the
check.
Hobbit hole.
Trey Wingo says the Jets and Aaron Rodgers spoke yesterday. Adding, Rodgers still hasn't made a decision about his future. And that was your Aaron Rodgers update.
Cool.
615-737-1045. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN also saying this morning that Derek Carr, before signing with the New Orleans Saints, was on the phone with Jets assistant and former Titans offensive coordinator Todd Downing on Sunday night. And Monday morning, as he mulled his decision, Downing and Carr worked together. They remain close, but Derek Carr will go to the New Orleans Saints. What I think actually happened is he talked to Todd Downing and then decided, oh, yeah, I need to go somewhere else.
What is wrong with you?
Hey, Ramon, I'm calling you.
Hello?
It's your guy.
Hey, this is Todd Downing.
Hey, what's up, my guy?
So I'm just wondering, you want to come to the New York Jets? You want to be our QB?
Are you there?
I sure am. I'm running the show here on offense.
What's your role that you're playing?
Well, I'm the coordinator.
I'm good.
I call the play.
I'm good.
Hello?
We're good.
Well, he's not the coordinator.
We're good. Hang up. He's pass game
he's
coordinator.
the pass game coordinator.
Yeah, we're good.
But
I
pretty
hung
much
up on you if you
coordinator
didn't know.
for him, for Derek Carr.
Well, that's not how that's reported. You trolling today, man. That's not how that's reported,
Word
Kayla.
for word what Jeremy Fowler had to say.
My action of hanging up on you as you called me, Kayla, that was what happened with Derek Carr and Todd Downing?
I'm just picturing it all going down.
Oh, this is.
tough.
I mean, this is what happened. I mean, that just sounded like that.
So he just said, "Hey, this is Todd Downing."
Derek, hello.
Derek,
Derek,
you
Derek Carr?
Derek, are you there? Hello.
Now they were tight, though. I'll say this: Todd Downing went up to the podium one time and was talking about Derek Carr and him and the relationship they had. So it is interesting when it comes down to it. What's best for Derek Carr?
Y'all petty, man.
Probably going to the Saints.
I mean, the phone call
crazy.
was Todd Downing saying, Derek, do you want to team up with me again?
No, I don't see any scenario of that.
That's exactly what Derek Carr said as he went to the New Orleans football Saints.
Saying that, though, I don't see Aaron Rodgers and
And Todd
vibing.
It's the contract. That contract with the Packers is insane.
It is.
It's nuts.
Think he retires.
Who is the Green Bay Packers that they allow Aaron Rodgers to do this? Like, I know the old, what it is, you do what you want when you're popping?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know he legit, but as a business, the standard that you're setting for somebody else down the line, all I'm saying is you let him do it.
Funny thing is, today is the 1-year anniversary of the day Rodgers told the Packers last year that he would return. Literally was today.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was later.
I saw that on Twitter this morning because it was right before the beginning of the league year.
What kind of you gonna let somebody strong arm you like that as a business?
No, I don't see any.
They're letting him do it, right? But they're letting him do it. He's doing it.
Boy.
He continues to do it every single year.
We'll see if they end up letting him this time. I mean, I think it's
I'd
trending
say shut
towards
it
him going
down.
back, but I mean, Aaron's got all the leverage with a $40.3 million dead cap number.
Man.
His base salary for 2023, according to Mike Giannitti of Spot Track, $59.4 million. His $58.3 million option bonus is exercised with a week 1 deadline. And so until that option is exercised, he technically carries a $59 million base salary. So if the Packers are willing to increase the dead cap that they are set to take on by trading him, then they can retain some of that salary and increase trade value by keeping more of his money. Because that contract is a behemoth.
It is. You got to be willing and ready to win right now. They do got a really good young nucleus with the Jets, though. We can say that.
They do.
Sauce Gardner's good. They won
Absolutely.
Very solid.
Offensive and defensive rookie of the year. That's drafting right there. And you also draft right when you got 2 high first rounders.
Truth.
Well, speaking of the financials, we teased going into the break, more details on the financials for Bud Dupree's release, which was reported by NFL Network's Ian Rappaport yesterday. The Titans are expected to release the 30-year-old, who is set for a cap hit of $20.2 million in 2023. Parting ways with him and a 5-year, $82.5 million deal saves the Titans $9.3 million against the cap, while also incurring a dead cap hit of $10.8 million. That's getting up there a little bit. It's about what you had for Julio as well. If it's pre-June 1st. If it's a post-June 1st cut, then you would save $15.75 million. You would decrease the dead cap hit to $4.4 million. The Titans basically have to decide, is saving that money worth not being able to spend it until June 1st when the brand name free agents are no longer available?
Right.
I would be surprised if that was the case. I would expect it to be a pre-June 1st cut, and maybe we'll even get clarity on that today at the standard 2 p.m. story and press release.
Who's the first guy you're looking at?
First guy I'm looking at?
Free agency.
That's a good question.
You know, just if you're trying to get ahead of it and not wait till they're all gone.
The tampering period? Yeah. That's a fair question.
I'm really wondering.
McCole Hardman for me.
Really?
A wide receiver first?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Is it because we phase ourselves out of O-line talk?
No, it's because I think you address a lot of your offensive line needs in the draft.
Okay.
And your cheaper offensive line picks are going to be guys who are available later on through free agency.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because guys that you're going to be able to afford likely aren't the ones you're willing to purchase early on in this exercise.
That's fair.
Like the guys that you can afford to get are still going to be available after June 1st.
Sure.
That you can afford to get.
Is
It's
there
clear
a
to say
veteran
that.
lineman right now that could go that you're like, go get him now? Because how many times we've established they need at least some veteran presence, like
They do.
guy.
We heard Ryan Harris, my former teammate, kind of bring that up a little bit. Then it's like you got to get a vet to kind of set a tone. I think that's fair. Who's to Will's point though, and I think that's as valid as it get. If you're going to get a guy, it's got to be somebody that's affordable that you can work in, and that's finding a mid-tier solid starter. So Melo. The guard from the Eagles, he's a free agent.
Yep.
You go get a guy like him to play guard, and then you draft a tackle. I think that's about as fair as it get. Well, because to go get Orlando, who's not going to get franchised, or McGlinchey from
That's right, Mike
McGlinchey. Those two going to be premiums.
Yeah, they're going to be pricey.
Very pricey.
And McGlinchey's not a left tackle.
He's right.
He's a right
He's
tackle.
right.
Although I proposed moving
Oh,
NPF
yes,
over.
we did.
So
Interesting. Let's go to Michael on the phone lines before we get to Sam Monson on the other side. 615-737-1045. What's going on, Michael?
What's up, Michael?
RKW, what's good?
What's up, Michael?
Hey, man, I'm here, I hope everybody's having a good Tuesday. We 3 days away from Friday. We're going to make it. Oh, man. So I had to log off of Facebook yesterday because I'm part of a lot of little Titan groups, and everybody's just in an uproar about DH. And I've always said this. In order for the Titans to come into the 21st century, we cannot, as a fan base, be scared of change. Derrick Henry has done a lot. I respect the brother. Would love to have him here, but I want that Super Bowl, and it's going to be some tough decisions that's going to have to be made. We love him, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, is it worth keeping him? He's about to be 30 years old, and we all know that running back life expectancy or whatever. I think, 32 to 33 is where you kind of start falling off.
30.
No,
30.
earlier.
28 to
Yeah.
29.
So what? And he's 30 now, right? So what are we going to do? Run him in the ground like we did Eddie George? Or are we just going to be like, okay, hey, we'll keep you. It's going to be a third down back. You know, we need to bring this team and this fan base to the 21st century. Like, I'm sick of the 9-8 and 9-6. I'm tired of that. You know, y'all like me, we were all disappointed when we lost to Cincinnati. But we needed that. I'm ready for the Super Bowl. I'm not going to sit up here and shame the Titans if we do, trade Derrick Henry. It is what it is. Even with Big Jeff, if you're going to trade some guys, let's get some top picks. Let's rebuild this team. And let's go make a run. I mean, we're not that far off. We just need to put some pieces in places and make a run for it. So, love DH, but it is what it is with me. I'd rather go win a Super Bowl.
Thank you, Michael. And we'll bring PFF Sam Monson into that discussion coming up next. Whether the Titans can afford to trade up for a quarterback while still keeping Ryan Tannehill, and what in the world should the Titans do at the running back position if Derrick Henry is actually being shopped around the NFL. Sam Monson of Pro Football Focus joins us on the other side. It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, 104.5 The Zone.
It's Ramon Foster for Window Nation. If you're noticing your energy costs have been rising, well, nationwide, they're up 14%. And it's not too late to fix your high energy bills, all while getting off-season prices from Window Nation. Beat the rush with 2 free windows with every 2 you buy. Plus, pay $0 down, make 0 payments, and get 0% financing for 24 months. Yes, that's 2 full years of paying nothing simply by calling 866-90-NATION or going online at windownation.com. And this is another reason to go to Window Nation Windows. You can save up to 30% on your heating bills by switching to their windows. Why? Because 43% of your utility bill is heating costs. You'll also increase the value of your home by up to $12,000. And here's the thing. If your windows are sticking, drafty, cracked, hard to open or lock in when they close, yes, you need new windows. And you can have your windows installed with a whole bunch of comfort because the average installer has over 16 years of experience with over 20,000 windows installed. Again, buy 2, get 2 windows free on any style from Window Nation and pay nothing until 2025. And this is the thing here in Middle Tennessee. The weather has been up and down. And weather impacts your windows. Hot days and cold nights can cause caulk to crack, seal failures, and condensation. Window Nation only uses the top-of-the-line materials, including mold spray and Quad Max sealing, toughest against all weather conditions. Pay nothing for 24 months. If you buy 2 windows, you get 2 windows free on any style from Window Nation. There's no limit to it. Save thousands on your new windows and energy bills, all while upgrading the look and feel of your home. Reach out to Window Nation and call them at 866-90-NATION or go online at windownation.com.
Tuesday morning edition of Ramon, Kayla, and Will, and it's powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. Crew's all here this morning. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, I'm Will Bowling. And joining us on the Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline, continuing to talk Titans and NFL Draft, we bring in our friend Sam Monson of Pro Football Focus. What's going on, Sam? How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Well, we're doing all right, and we are putting out some fires from yesterday's news about Bud Dupree's release, and then this report we get about Derrick Henry potentially being shopped around to other general managers in Indianapolis at the Combine. Just wanted to start with your reaction to that, just what you made of that news yesterday on the Titans front.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Bud Dupree thing makes sense. It was a move we didn't love in the first place, giving him that kind of contract. He's a guy that never really justified it in terms of pressure rate, in terms of the things that actually predict future performance. And I think with injuries, et cetera, it's a move that just hasn't worked out from them. So them getting out from under that as quickly as possible, I think, does make a lot of sense. The Derrick Henry thing, I think, is far more indicative of where this franchise might be in overall terms. When you are potentially open to getting rid of Derrick Henry, that is a signal that this thing is changing and we're potentially blowing this up and really rebooting the franchise, which I think is a move that might need to happen. We, on our podcast, have been kind of going through all the teams in the NFL, figuring out where they need to go, what their offseason move should look like. And Tennessee was one of only a couple of teams where you're thinking, this actually makes a lot of sense to reboot, to rebuild this franchise and maybe go in a completely different direction. And if you're doing that, getting rid of a guy like Derrick Henry and cashing in on what you can get in terms of trade collateral is one of those starting moves.
And Sam, I know Trevor Sikkema with you guys at Pro Football Focus said on the NFL Stock Exchange podcast that he's seen the Titans as one of those teams willing to maybe move up and draft a quarterback at the top of the draft. Do you feel like the Titans have enough resources to afford using that first-round pick on a QB, or would this be more of, hey, if you're going to get rid of Derrick Henry, you might as well reboot at quarterback too?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're one and the same. If you're getting rid of Derrick Henry, it probably signals that you are completely starting over and you're going to start looking at new quarterback options, and whether that's the draft this year or whether that's deal with a bad season, suck up whatever next season is going to give you, and then aim for a guy like Caleb Williams in the draft next year. The process is going to be starting to try and figure out what that quarterback of the future looks like. And I would imagine that trading away Derrick Henry goes sort of hand in hand with moving on from Ryan Tannehill as well. And that's probably the reality they're looking at right now and trying to figure out, do they have the ammunition to get up to where they need to be in the draft this year and target one of these quarterbacks, or are they looking 12 months down the road at what is arguably a better quarterback group at the very, very top, but obviously contains much more unknown in terms of whether you're going to be picking that high, what the rest of the top 10 is going to look like, and how easy it's going to be to get your hands on one of those guys.
Realistically, Sam, what could you get for Derrick Henry this year if you decided to trade him? And where would he be the best fit?
It's tough because this is a great offseason for getting running backs. If you're a team with a need at that position, there are a lot of them available. It's getting a little bit thinner, obviously, with the Raiders putting the franchise tag on Josh Jacobs, taking one off the market, but it's a good free agent group of running backs. It's a phenomenal draft class of running backs, maybe the best class we've seen come along top to bottom in like a decade, with a guy like Bijan Robinson from Texas, arguably the best running back to come into the draft for, a decade plus. Adrian Peterson maybe is the last guy that was that good as a prospect. So when you're trying to offload a guy that's, one of the highest priced running backs in the NFL, it's a tough sell, but he is a guy that is different. We've seen from Derrick Henry throughout his career that the sort of rules of running the football, the rules of how running backs interplay with offenses in today's NFL don't necessarily apply to Derrick Henry. He is a different animal back there. He can carry a load. He can genuinely make a difference to an offense in a way a lot of running backs can't. So I think there's still going to be value for Derrick Henry, but it is not a seller's market right now.
So there's a new tactic that's happening on social media with some of these players, and it's scrubbing your social media, unfollowing the team you're currently playing for. This is what recently happened with Jeffrey Simmons, who seems always to be, I've been covering this guy for the last few years, and he's a pretty laid back guy. Doesn't seem to be a guy who wants much attention drawn to him, but that's what he did. Is this just the life that we're living now in the era of social media when it comes to that tactic?
Yeah, it does seem like it is. We each, I think, need to get in closer with our kids to get a better translation as to what all these social media moves actually mean. I think for Simmons, whether or not this team is rebooting and rebuilding, Simmons should be one of the cornerstones of that franchise going forward. So I think he's probably aware of that and wants, top dollar with this new contract that he should be looking for. Jeffrey Simmons is arguably the best player on this roster right now, and whether or not they are completely resetting this team, he should be one of the core players that they're looking to lock up long term. And I would imagine he's just ensuring that they have a little bit of urgency about that.
PFF Sam Monson, our guest this morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will.
Sam, man, there's a lot of things that have to happen before this team gets to that point of, making some decisions on the draft. And that one, to me, is the offensive line. Where are you at on guys like, Mike McGlinchey or Orlando, since they're not going to tag him? Or do you go to the draft since you saw the combine this week?
I mean, I think their offensive line is in the kind of state where they need to do everything. It's not one thing is not going to fix it. Like I think we gave them a left tackle in the last mock draft we did, but you kind of, it's a sort of move where you don't feel good about it because you added one great player, but that didn't fix the offensive line. You need more than that. But it has to be done. Like, that offensive line finished the season ranked 32nd in PFF's offensive line rankings. They were horrendous as a pass blocking unit. They were bad across the board. And okay, they might be better when they get a couple of guys back from injury and young players develop a little bit. But this is a line that needs, a significant injection of talent, and that's not going to happen in one place. I think you need to target everywhere you have available. And whether or not you aim high at a guy like Mike McGlinchey or whether you sort of aim a little bit lower and just try and get solid starters, I think they need to hit free agency as well and then probably end up hoping that the draft falls their way and there's one of the top offensive line prospects available in the first round, because I think it probably needs that kind of attention.
And that's where I wanted to go, since you were at the combine and you guys do mocks and everything, man. I gave my opinion. What's yours on Peter Skoronski, Paris Johnson Jr., or Broderick Jones? And I'd also throw Darnell right in there, since he, I think, really helped himself this past week. Where are you at on Titans' needs for one of those dudes?
Yeah, I think all three of those first names you mentioned had pretty good days, pretty good workouts, pretty good combines across the board. Skoronski is the interesting guy because teams need to figure out whether he's a left tackle or a guard. I think he's probably done enough in college to have kind of earned the right to fail at tackle first. Give him the shot. He's shown that he can play that kind of level. That his arms were, just above the threshold that you want for a left tackle. They're definitely on the shorter side. That being said, when you just look at the guy, when you show him on tape or when you put on the film of his workout, he just looks like a guard. You know what I mean? Like the body type, if you showed somebody a picture of that guy and asked him what position he played on the offensive line, they would tell you he was a guard. So either way, I think he's going to be a good player at the next level, and he would be a good pick. But Broderick Jones, I thought, looked like the prototypical left tackle. He had a really good day. I thought he would be a very good pick for them. I think they're lucky in that it is a good class up top for those offensive linemen. I think they're going to be in a position to get a guy who can come in day one and be a big upgrade.
PFF Sam Monson, our guest this morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. Sam, did we learn anything significant about any of the top quarterbacks at the NFL Combine? Do you feel like anybody really helped or hurt themselves to change up the rankings of those top four?
I don't think it necessarily changed anything, but I think it really sort of cemented everything we thought about these guys. Like Anthony Richardson isn't just an incredible athlete. He's apparently the best athlete we've ever seen at the quarterback position when you factor in size and all those kinds of things. So that sort of really cements what we're talking about with him. C.J. Stroud threw the ball and it just looked effortless. Every pass he had was accurate, was easy, just looked in rhythm. Like he's maybe the most natural, pure thrower of the football of the top four. Will Levis was what we expected. He's definitely got a cannon, but it's a little bit more scattershot and a little bit more inconsistent. And then Bryce Young, the only thing we got out of that is he is absolutely tiny. When you watch him stand next to any of these other guys, hell, when you watch him stand next to me, the guy's small, like really small.
Yeah.
The question is, do you care? Because his tape is by far the best of any of those four guys. So it's a fascinating collection of quarterbacks because they're very, very different.
And Sam, what is the perfect landing spot for Anthony Richardson specifically? Because as Titans fans start to maybe come to terms with this being more of a rebuild than they may have originally thought, that perhaps is the guy that Titans fans are going to flock to a little bit. Could you see a scenario where he sits behind someone for a year? Is that the best situation for him?
I mean, if I was to put him on one roster that I would like to see him play for next year, I would put him in Atlanta. I think him in that offense, the Arthur Smith offense, the run-heavy offense, the way that they're prepared to build around a quarterback with rushing skills, I think he'd be incredible in that. I think people are talking about him a little bit not the right way because of the sort of style of quarterback he is. I don't think he needs to sit year one. He is actually quite a sophisticated processor. It's not like Malik Willis from last year, where, number one, he's a better athlete than Malik Willis was. Number two, he is much further ahead from a processing standpoint and a kind of pocket passing standpoint than Malik Willis was. Willis was one read and then run, and has been that the whole way, and that's why it's very difficult to build an offense around that until he improves that part of his game. Richardson will go through progressions. He wants to be a pocket passer. His problem is inaccuracy. Like, he is wildly inaccurate right now, and you need to sort of figure out if that's something you can fix, like Josh Allen, over a couple of years and work on his mechanics and really rebuild him maybe with a private quarterback coach, or if that's just who he's going to be always. Either way, I think his floor is really quite high because of that rushing ability, and you can build an offense sort of like the Eagles did with Jalen Hurts, or even the Bills with Josh Allen for those first couple of years. You can build an offense that leans on that running ability, and it's really hard to be terrible because it's just so difficult to stop. And then the question is, can he be good enough as a passer or get good enough as a passer that the entire package becomes unstoppable? But that rushing ability and that high floor, I think, buys you a long period of time to work things out. If Justin Fields couldn't run, Justin Fields wouldn't be the starter anymore. Same thing with Jalen Hurts. Same thing with Josh Allen. Like, it buys those guys time to figure out the passing point of things.
Sam, I thought the wide receiver class this year is a bit underwhelming. I mean, clearly the tight ends class is just booming with talent. But if you were to pick a couple guys from the combine, and I kind of know what you're going to maybe say here, one of the guys at least, what would you say maybe a guy that increased his stock there?
Yeah, I think you're right. It's not a great wide receiver group generally. I think Jackson Smith and Jigba had a really good combine, the Ohio State wide receiver.
Yep.
Didn't run the 40, probably because he's not going to run that fast in the 40, but he put up all-time change of direction numbers. His three-cone, his short shuttle time were both in the top sort of couple of percentiles in NFL history, and that's where that guy is going to make his hay at the next level. His change of direction, his route running, his ability to separate is really top-notch. From the tight end class, Iowa tight ends have always had this track record, right? George Kittle, T.J. Hawkinson, they've got a ton of them. I didn't love Sam Laporta's tape when I watched it the first time around, but he looked so good during the workout.
Right?
His numbers were good. He caught the ball smoothly. He showed everything that I didn't necessarily see from his tape. So I need to go back and kind of watch him again and try and figure out why I didn't like him as much the first time. But his grades are good. His broken tackle numbers were incredible, and I think he really helped his stock.
Sam Monson has been our guest, Pro Football Focus writer. Follow him on Twitter at PFF_Sam. Sam, really great stuff today, man. Appreciate it as always.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Sam.
Anytime, guys. Take it easy.
All right, there's Sam Monson with us this morning, and we'll dive into some of that when we come back and ask Ramon and Caleb the question. Is there a scenario where Derrick Henry is traded and Ryan Tannehill is still this team's quarterback? Because I think Sam answered the question for us. Coming up next, it's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, 104.5 The Zone.
He was really.
You know, as a former professional athlete, I have aches and pains that I deal with almost every single day, but now I found Old School Vapor, and they've hands down the most knowledgeable when it comes to helping me get some relief and understanding, Kayla.
That's right. And I'm right there with waking up sometimes with those aches and pains or just after a workout, right, Ramon? And what we love about them is you can walk in there as soon as you walk in, someone to greet you. They'll kind of guide you in the right direction for whatever you're looking for. If you are a pet owner, this is a major bonus because they have so many choices for your fur babies. Maybe they have separation anxiety. Maybe you travel with your fur babies and you need something to calm them down. You can go shop Old School Vapor's selection of over 200 legal CBD products. Lots of brands like Looper, Torch, Hidden Hills, and much more.
And it's not just any kind of vapor shop, Kayla. This is like the supermarket of all vape shops. When I tell you everything you can think of, Escobars, they have the discounts, they have everything you're looking for. But Kayla, where can you find them at?
It's easy. Just take out your phone or computer right now and you look up them on Instagram. You know, you got all the pictures there that you want to see of their shops, or you can just Google them, Old School Vapor, to find your nearest location.
4 of them around the city too. Franklin, both ends of Spring Hill, Columbia, and there's more to come. That's Old School Vapor, and these products contain nicotine, which is an addictive chemical. You must be 21 years or older to purchase, and no sales to minors.
It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling with you. This song always reminds me of 30 Rock. Have any of y'all watched 30 Rock?
I've seen
Jonathan Schaefer, you've watched 30 Rock.
A little bit. I didn't watch it regularly, though.
When they do the spinoff of Tracy Jordan's wife's television show that's on E, this is one of like the montage songs of her show that's on E or like TLC or something. Inside Baseball.
I do have a Tracy Morgan impression, though.
Yeah.
Go get you pregnant. Go take my shirt off.
Oh my God.
In the words of Tracy Jordan, live every week like it's Shark Week.
We're talking about Morgan or
That's
Jordan?
got to be racist.
Tracy Jordan. That's his character in the show.
Oh, okay. So you didn't really change his name.
I was right.
Oh, I never said you was
I'm
wrong.
not right a lot.
Oh,
but I was
Tracy,
right on
Tracy
that.
Jordan on the show, Tracy Morgan in real life.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Gotcha.
That's all I was
He
asking.
basically
Make you
plays
pregnant.
himself. He's so funny.
He basically does.
He plays himself on the show.
Nice.
His character is basically just Tracy Morgan.
Every character in that show
Which is funny.
except Alec Baldwin plays himself. Alec Baldwin plays the opposite of himself.
Alec Baldwin's got enough issues.
Where's
right now.
Where's Alec Baldwin right now? I don't
That's true.
think
Anyway.
let's skip over that.
Nathaniel.
His member of his family is in a lot of social media fights right now. Haley Bieber.
Oh, God.
Is that his
that's
daughter?
right.
They're related.
They're related?
In,
How are they
in fights
related?
with
Are they
Selena
that-
Gomez?
Yeah, apparently.
God, Justin Bieber, what are you doing?
But
Putting
in
all
fight
these
with
women
Selena
against
Gomez?
each other.
Yeah.
They're all fighting with
it's
each
not
other
great.
over
Grander Selena
Justin.
Gomez.
It's not great.
Jay Bieber out here.
She's trending too right now, social media.
She is?
Anyway. Sam Monson brings up a good point with us.
What the heck?
As we also got some Preds tickets to give away here in just a moment. But wanted to just highlight one thing he said that I think is correct. If Derrick Henry's gone, Ryan Tannehill needs to be too.
That's fair.
And he essentially told us in saying that, look, if you're taking stock of your franchise and resetting, just go ahead and get it all done now.
Just rip it off.
Yep.
I think that's fair. The more I hear that, and initially I was like, keep Tannehill because that puts you in a position to compete. And going off of what they say, meaning Vrabel and Rand, is the idea they're forever going to compete. But if this is a true rebuild, Will, Kayla, listeners, then you got to do both. And that also means you get rid of if you're getting rid of Derrick, that means you're getting draft stock back. If you're getting rid of Tannehill, potential pick, if you're trading them to a team or you just flat out release them, that's the reason I almost say it's almost impossible to get rid of Tannehill, though, because who's going to take that trade?
Yeah.
That's the only issue I have with saying get rid of both.
And
The
then,
New York Jets.
yeah, absolutely.
If Aaron
Yes.
Rodgers doesn't go to
Yes,
New York,
and yes.
then the price for Ryan Tannehill goes up a little bit more.
I agree.
Are we
Raiders.
saying that?
Or the Raiders.
Are we saying that because of the team? Or we're saying that because of Todd Downey's in New York.
No.
Both.
I think,
Both.
I mean, yeah. I don't know if he wants to be there with Todd
I
either,
don't,
but
I don't think it really has anything to do with Todd Downing.
yeah.
They're just an
doesn't hurt.
available team.
It's okay. So is this?
But maybe it does.
Is this a knock now moving forward on the quarterback draft? Because Zach Wilson is still there, y'all. That's my issue with all, like with the
On
Jets.
which quarterback draft?
Any draft moving forward. Like, what is a
can you
rookie
trust?
quarterback now? Yeah, who can you trust?
Well, let's say this because we said it on the air. They were morons for picking him anyway.
That's correct.
I'm talking about the highest levels. We went off of like media throws that he was making sidearming.
And that's the point, I think, about the Titans, and I think the point that Chris Ballard made at the Combine. Just because you need a quarterback and you want to move up to get one that you like doesn't mean all quarterback drafts are created equal. And I don't think that guy is out there that's worth moving up multiple picks to get. Now, if Anthony Richardson falls in your lap at 11, maybe you have a discussion.
Yeah.
You're not moving up to get him, not with all the other moves and needs that you need to make for this team this offseason. So I think that's the point then about the quarterback draft is the year to move up and the year to go all in is next year. It's not this year's this year's quarterback draft.
You roll with Malik this year, or you roll with Josh Dobbs, if they resign.
Write in a third option.
It's funny.
I don't think this is going to happen. I'm saying
I know. I'm
if
just
Derrick
saying,
Henry's
what would-
traded, Tannehill needs to
Yeah,
be too.
and what would you do at quarterback? That's just all I'm asking. This year, what would you do if you're not going to go get one in the draft?
And we've been deceived year after year because last year the conversation was wait till this year's draft. And we're at this year's draft, and everything that's happened, we've knocked Bryce, we've knocked Stroud, we've knocked Hendon, we've knocked everybody. And ultimately, already we're like, next year draft. Screw the quarterback draft is where I'm at, man.
I do agree with you on that.
I hate it.
We always do that. It's one of the cliches that happens yearly of like, hey, but next year's draft, look at all these. Like, people are putting Bo Nix in there. Like, we don't know that Bo Nix isn't going to be a first-round pick. Like, people are sneaking in Bo Nix as like, hey, but Bo Nix, he's in this class. Like, really?
I'm not going that far.
Who's spending a first-round pick on Bo Nix?
I'm not going that far.
Nobody.
And I understand what Sam was saying, and I don't disagree with him, but I don't think it's a lock that if you do move on from Derrick, that Ryan's automatically gone too. I don't think that's a lock.
I don't think that's a lock by any means. No.
I agree, but I think it should be.
You still have to have a quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was asking the question, do you roll with Malik then? And just and say we're just going to be who we are?
I'm with you.
I don't think you roll, Malik.
What the heck?
I told
Then
you
who
my
are you
opinion.
rolling with? Jimmy Garoppolo?
You roll with a quarterback that's going to keep you above 500. Right there at that position.
That's Ryan Tannehill.
That's Ryan or Jimmy G.
Oh, God.
But why are you going and getting Jimmy G when you already have that guy
That's
here?
what I'm
That's
saying.
what I'm saying.
Some
too.
version of it.
So the guy that the Titans are playing quarterback with is probably still in house.
Because here's the other thing. The price of the quote-unquote middle-class quarterback is going up by the day.
What was the price yesterday? $100 million, 50 pretty much in the first year for Derek Carr
and Geno Smith.
You're looking on these deals to be very front-end loaded so teams can get out of these deals later on.
Yeah, that's what
with
it is.
a bunch of guaranteed money and a bunch of money up front.
Because this team staying put where it is, it doesn't make sense to go away from Ryan Tannehill because there's not a better option.
Exactly.
If you're going away from Ryan Tannehill, you're admitting you're not trying to win a Super Bowl or the AFC South this year, and you're recognizing that everyone else in your division has top 5 overall quarterbacks, and you need one too in 2024. That's not an admission I think the Titans are willing to make. I'm making the point that if Derrick Henry's gone, you're not making a deep run at that point.
I think
unless
I think you do, y'all. Like, it's like I know Derrick's a unicorn. I know this.
I mean,
but there's life after too. We can't say the Titans live and die by this.
The only caveat is if you go get Bijan Robinson and just run the same offense with a younger guy. Which could happen. So.
I'll stand in the corner by myself to say I think you can still prosper without 22.
615-737-1045, the number. And coming up next, your chance to be in Bridgestone Arena to see the Nashville Predators. Looking forward to that. And looking forward to talking to Ron Slay at 9:20. Get a little SEC tournament basketball preview with 3HL and SEC Networks. Ronald Sylvester Aloysius Slay. That's coming up next in the fourth quarter of the show at Ramon, Kalen, and Will, 104.5 The Zone.
It is 9:01. Good morning from the Superbook.com sports desk. I'm Jonathan Schaefer. According to reports, the Titans are expected to release linebacker Bud Dupree. A pre-June 1st designation would clear up over $9 million in cap space. According to Mike Silver of Bally Sports, Derrick Henry among the names that were being shopped at the recent NFL scouting combine. The Seahawks and quarterback Geno Smith have agreed on a 3-year, $105 million deal. Includes $52 million in the first year. The 32-year-old Smith, the NFL's comeback player of the year. Derek Carr agreed to a 4-year contract with the New Orleans Saints. That deal potentially worth up to $150 million and includes up to $100 million in guarantees. Carr will receive $60 million fully guaranteed at signing and earn $60 million in the first 2 years of the deal. To the ice, Vancouver 4, Nashville 3 in a shootout to the association. Grizzlies at the Lakers. No Ja Morant, no LeBron James. Ugh. 9 o'clock will be the tip-off for that. College basketball, 3 Vols earned postseason honors as voted upon by SEC coaches. Santiago Vescovi, first-team All-SEC. Zakai Ziegler, second-team and All-Defensive Team. Julian Phillips, All-Freshman Team. Congrats to the Doors. Vanderbilt's Liam Robbins, SEC Defensive Player of the Year and All-SEC First-Team and All-Defensive. Jerry Stackhouse, Co-Coach of the Year. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Into hour number 4 this morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. And as always, it's powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors right here on 104.5 The Zone. Alongside 11-year NFL veteran and Vol for Life, Ramon Foster.
Yay.
Our capitalized J journalist, Kayla Anderson. And the best producer in the world, Jonathan Schaefer, making the show happen.
The best producer in the world! Of the world, Craig. The world.
My name is Will Bowling. Ron Slade joins us at 9:20 as we talk some SEC tournament, and we continue the Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, Bud Dupree, and all of these crazy Titans offseason topics on a Titans Tuesday. But before we get back to that, Nashville Predators fans, lock in with us here for a moment because we've got some tickets for you. Grab your family and friends for a fun night out with the Preds. Be caller number 5 right now to win tickets to see the Preds take on the Seattle Kraken on March 23rd in Smashville. 615-737-1045. Caller number 5 right now wins tickets to see the Preds take on Seattle March the 23rd. That is 16 days from now in Smashville. You got time to grab your family, grab your friends, and head to the Stone coming up in just a couple of weeks. That's right. You'll hear a lot of that. I love that.
There it goes. Lighten up.
Sound.
Headlines yesterday. There it is again. As far as the Tennessee Titans are concerned, news breaking that the Titans are expected to release outside linebacker Bud Dupree. And like all of us, Bud Dupree saw it first on Twitter.
Surprise.
Writing, I found out on Twitter, and then immediately A.J. Browning and deleting it.
Yeah.
I bet someone called him or texted him, right?
I would imagine so.
Right? Is that
I think he did find. Probably somebody text him for sure. I don't know many players that got alerts straight to their phone from Twitter. If you do, then you are different. You're
different cat. You're Taylor Lewan.
In this building, a lot of people do, or in this business, I should say, a lot of people do.
Yeah.
I don't.
No.
No, me either.
I'm
I don't
looking
think
for
I could live
notifications
that way.
that take me away from Twitter.
I mean, news travel fast, or probably came across on an alert from one of the big networks or something like that.
And this is expected.
Yeah, I think it was
right.
expected.
It hasn't been. Well, this is reportedly been. It's an expected to be released. So nothing's official yet. Just if you're trying to come at us.
Well, it's it's potentially. It's not official yet either because we don't know whether it is a pre or post June 1st designation. Titans would save about $6 million if they cut him after June 1st. would have a bigger cap hit, would save a little bit less money if they go ahead and do it now before the new league year and the tampering period begins for free agents.
If they aggressively just say, hey, we're going to do it now, where's your mind? Where are y'all mindsets on that? It's like, yeah, screw the money, save. We just want to get it over with.
Start doing business.
Yeah. Where is your mindset? It's like this is an aggressive approach to staying above board and relevant when it comes to free agency too, because, that ain't a lot of money, but that's a good chunk of change to be used in spending about $6 million.
Depending if they want someone.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I think the difference would be there's maybe a brand name guy that they want to go out and get immediately. Maybe it is Mike McGlinchey.
Yeah.
And Nicholas Petit-Frere as your left tackle. Maybe it's as good of an interior lineman as there is on the market.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's Nate Davis. I have no idea, but that is the inclination that I would get, is that there's someone the Titans believe will be gone by June 1st who they want to use with that money.
Where are we at on outside rushers, too? Because you got rid of one. I'm thinking you got to replace one for cheap. Are we looking at a Frank Clark type? No. Is that what we're looking at?
I think you're looking at a day 2 draft pick.
A day 2 draft pick?
I think so, too.
And how many they got in this one?
There's some good
6
ones.
Picks. It is some good ones, but it doesn't matter. You only got 6 picks, though, too.
And you need a lot of help.
So this is going to be a very interesting next month.
Yeah.
Will McDonald's stock has risen quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
There's going to be a lot of that type of stuff that happens. I just look at the replacement aspect of it. Like, I know the offseason programs in the NFL work here or there, but we ain't even heard of a splash guy as of late. I know Rashad Weaver's right now is probably going to be a day 1 starter for this team.
100%.
And the ACL.
I don't know.
I think so.
I think so.
And I think they probably alluded to that. Like,
yeah.
I can see from all the social, like, he's working.
Rashad,
he knows what he's got to do.
He had a good first half of the season. Let's think about how many plays he made, whether TFLs or just sacks.
He was leading at one point.
Yes, he was. Through the first, after 6 or 7 games, Rashad was at a point, he's growing up, and year 3 is where that step's got to be made.
I think Rashad Weaver is a great third edge. I think he's a great third option. I don't think he's a starter.
I look at him as a starter now.
He is right now. I don't think that's a slam dunk by week 1, though.
But so this is what we're looking for. Harold's your sack getter as far as we know.
Yep.
You got to have a bully on the other side.
You do.
And I thought Rashad played that role well for a young guy last year, even in limited participation.
He was good.
And if you're going to start a guy like him, and I'll say this, I'll speak for myself. I love what his upside can be.
Sure.
I love that he's long. I love that he's rangy. I love that he can get upfield and he's fast enough to press the running game.
Now, he has to work on stuff. That's a fact.
100.
But you feel like he can get to be that dude.
This all to me is the growth of what the league is. And I'm just looking at who's your starters right now. It's Rashad Weaver plus Harold Landry. My question is, what if Harold's on PUP? That's the part in which I'm saying, okay, to Sam's point, it's so many different gaps. Everybody we've had on to discuss the Titans has said the same thing with us. It's a lot of gaps.
There's a lot.
Yeah. You're probably looking at left tackle still in the first round, despite all of these things being said. The only way that a left tackle is not your first round pick is if there's a guy you love, you think you can get in the second, or if you sign a right tackle or draft a right tackle that you really like and move Nicholas Petit-Frere to left. One of your first 3 picks has to be on an offensive lineman. Maybe 2 of your first 3 picks might have to be on an offensive lineman.
That's tough.
If John Michael Schmitz from Minnesota is right there and you feel like you've got your center for the next 10 years, that is 100% who you should take in the second round. It's not exciting, but it's what this team needs.
It's crazy how much cleanup is having to be done on aisle T, meaning the Titans aisle. Clean up on aisle T.
It's really more so offensively, but there's still a lot of parts in the defense that we're trying to fix.
It is, and I look at that cleanup as, and I ain't even in an attack mode when I go to John Robinson on this one, but the more and more moves and question marks we have lends itself to show us why the conversation of letting him go when you did happened. And that sucks because everybody else is left cleaning up on aisle T at this point. That's a bad place to be.
You got to re-sign Jeff.
We still having that conversation. You release Bud, that's a John Robinson sign. Julio, AJ. There's so many different conversations that are being had around that to where you just say, God, Lee, give us something, man. Other than that last draft class, I give them that one, Will.
Well, but there's the fact, too, that if you had hit on 3 draft picks, let's just say 3.
Go ahead. I'm here for it.
Let's just say Isaiah Wilson,
Yep.
Dylan Radins, and Malik Willis. If 3 players pan out, you save $40 to $50 million in cap space, and you can move forward, and immediately there's no rebuild that has to happen. You've reset, you've got your line, you're going. And you can spend on a premium at that point at a lot of different positions. But those 3 guys didn't pan out.
They didn't. And I'd also look at this, too. Some of the luxury picks, the premium picks that you said that he's made. Like, I look at Kyle Phillips' situation. I look at the wide receiver 2 years ago, Racy's another guy I look at in this situation. There's one from Louisville that we ended up passing.
Des Fitzpatrick.
Des Fitzpatrick, yeah, he's no longer here.
Racy was a later pick draft.
Yeah,
okay, not
more of a
Racy. Let's
special
go
team.
Trey Smith was still on the board, though, when Racy
was.
In the 4th round.
They traded up to get him, guys.
With Amon-Ra St. Brown sitting right there.
Come on, y'all.
And Amari Rodgers, who I know didn't stick in Green Bay, but still.
It's legitimately clean up on ILT for a while right now.
That's mud.
615-737-1045 is our number. Coming up next, a very special guest joins us, as he does at this time on Tuesdays, who had a very special guest join his show yesterday. I'm still so jealous. I'm legitimately so jealous. Jim Nantz called in.
Let it out,
CBS's
Will.
Jim Nantz.
Let it out.
The voice of the Masters, March Madness, the NFL on CBS. My favorite broadcaster of my life. It's fine. I'm over.
Let it out, man.
I'm excited for them. I'm not jealous. I'm jealous in a good way. Jim Nantz was on with 3HL and Ron Slay yesterday. Even was dropping names like, what's going on, Savage? So cool. Anyway, Ron Slay will join us. We'll get an SEC tournament preview with him and a story that we've been following with him for a couple weeks now on who would win a very hotly contested SEC Coach of the Year that went to Jerry Stackhouse and Buzz Williams. Should it have gone to someone else? We'll get Slay's thoughts coming up next. We'll talk a little bit of Vols hoops as well. And Ramon, Kayla, and Will, 104.5 The Zone.
If you have a wet basement or crawl space, it's time to call United Structural Systems. We've all heard about these guys for a long time and for good reasons. And that's because they've served Middle Tennessee since 1994 and they've helped thousands of satisfied residential customers. They are the go-to company when it comes to foundation repair and waterproofing. And if you have a wet basement or crawl space, you don't have to put up with it. Water intrusion and moisture could give you all sorts of problems down the road, and you want to get this fixed. It could be because you have poor drainage or surface water flooding over the walls or underwater pressure forcing water into your basement. Or it could be a plumbing leak you just don't know. But the team at United Structural Systems will find out why you have a wet basement or crawl space and will give you a plan to fix it. Best part is, if you decide to move forward, you don't have to pay a dime until the work is done and you are satisfied. So get that free estimate from the people I trust. Go to USSTN.com. That's USSTN.com. Or call 615-227-2275. United Structural Systems.
Oh, that music can only mean one thing. It's Ron Slay on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors with Ramon Foster and Kayla Anderson. I'm Will Bowling. 615-737-1045 is our number as we transition from the world of NFL and Tennessee Titans to the tournament that is back at its rightful home, ladies and gentlemen. The SEC tournament, which kicks off tomorrow night in Bridgestone Arena. Tennessee taking on the winner of South Carolina and Ole Miss on Thursday. Looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm. Hot ticket, too,
Nice. I'm excited. It's
man.
back.
I love these events that come to Nashville like this one. Like, you get some daytime action, too,
Sure.
out here at Bridgestone. Like, boy, that's beautiful.
I haven't decided if I'm going to go Wednesday or not.
You haven't yet?
Probably not.
Okay. I'm going Thursday.
About every other year, I'll go Wednesday.
I
don't think I'm feeling it this year.
Check my schedule and see if my availability to make it down there, because I want to be in there. I went a few years back. It's a good time.
Reminding me, I got to go pick up media credentials. Reminder to anybody who's going.
Yeah, that's right. We do get those, don't we?
So would daytime action be afternoon delight?
Afternoon delight.
I will not be there with a credential.
Oh, you will not?
Oh, he's
Why?
got box living. Box seat living.
Oh, I'm not on a box seat.
You're just a casual
Wait a
fan?
minute. You're going to be amongst the people?
Always.
Ooh.
I never go as media.
Excuse me?
You don't? You
Really?
never go as media?
I don't like being media for stuff like that.
Oh, God. That's all I can do.
Yeah.
Look at the big
But it's not my
status on
team.
Will.
The balls aren't, I'm
Right.
covering the balls.
All these teams are, I don't know. Like, I just haven't, I've been a fan of all these teams my whole life. Like, it's the same routine. Like, the only year I went as media for UT football was the one year I was a beat writer. That year I did. And then it was the worst year in UT football history. So I did my part for the university, and I helped the rebuild by no longer being a beat writer covering Tennessee. That was my gift to the people of the volunteer state.
That's fair. That's fair, Will.
So you're welcome, Ramon.
First step is knowing your flaws, okay? And you've embraced yours already, Will.
Like, I don't believe in
That's
jinxes.
maturity.
I think they're mainly stupid and for stupid people. Not
Okay.
really. There's no stupid people, only stupid takes.
I mean, there are. It's okay.
That's fine. But we all have to do our part. That's always what I say. Like, when there's a perfect game in like the 7th,
Yeah.
it's like, I don't believe in jinxes, but we all have to do our part.
Yep.
Some of them are fun too. Like the jinxes for no hitters, I enjoy that. I enjoy not saying the NH words during a no hitter.
Don't tell a baseball guy to not be superstitious. Holy smokes.
Well, that's why I am superstitious
I know.
for baseball. Right.
And I'm just like, the amount of superstitions they have over the years covering all sorts of, minor league, major league, it's insane.
Yeah, they're insane people.
Crazy.
Did y'all see Scherzer already manipulating the pitch clock?
The pitch clock is
so good.
I promise you don't get me started on the pitch clock. I promise you, you don't want to have that conversation with me.
Remember Tony Kemp about his?
Yeah, he's already done it. Scherzer,
Frustrations.
he worked it. He got set as he got up on the mound. Then he made the hitter take a break. Then Scherzer got right back on the bump and just threw a strike. He threw him off so bad. He's manipulated. It was kind of cool to watch. I will say that.
It's terrible.
Did it get spicy here?
It did get spicy. It got real. Because you know how those guys are. They're going to find any kind of little crease they can to get over the system. And that's one thing I enjoy watching baseball players do that type of stuff.
Me too.
Not a pitch clock guy.
Not at all. I will say, though, even on the lower level, like kid level, I'm seeing kids just take their time outside of the box, looking at the bat and 1 foot
Fixing
in
their gloves.
and looking at the coach like, is that the signal? You sure that's the signal? That's the signal? Oh, okay. Get back in. Swing and a miss. Hop back out. Look at the bat. I'm like, bro, I got to be at work in the morning.
I was going to say, I think you're saying this as a morning show host, not just as a baseball fan.
Yeah. Come on, man. You don't get in that doggone box and swing and miss so we can go home.
The problem is now when pitchers don't know where the ball's going out of their hand and the game takes 4.5 hours because they can't control where they're throwing it.
Oh, look at this
It's not
bad
really gonna
man.
help
Slim
speed.
Jimmy.
Look at this bad
Slay's
man
here.
by the name of Ronald Sylvester Slay.
Hey, I'll be looking at them kids like, if you don't get in that box, man, and hit this ball.
As Jim Nantz would say, hello, Savage.
Right?
That was 3HL has a lot of cool moments. I've listened to 3HL since I'm not going to tell you how long because I don't want to
go ahead.
make
you're
people
not that
feel worse
old.
about how young I am already. But that was really, really cool. One of the cooler moments I've heard on the Zone yesterday, Slay.
Nah, it was real dope. It was real dope. What's happening, y'all?
How are you?
What's happening?
Welcome.
What's happening? I'm in here. I'm in the building.
I'm in the building.
Hey, KK, I'm out in this thing. I'm over in this thing. Let me turn my volume up. There I go.
There we go.
Yeah. What's happening? Okay, here we go.
The SEC tournament is back in its rightful home, Nashville, Tennessee.
Man. It is. Isn't this like? I loved it being in Atlanta. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
especially in my playing days.
Oh yeah.
And I remember being torn out with a torn ACL, going down to the SEC tourney. Didn't have to be a shoot around. And all that. Pretty cool. Good time. I remember posting up at the Comedy Corner and things like that, man, that night. But anyway, it was a lot of stuff going on in Atlanta. It was a good time. But this is where it belongs, man. Nashville
Tampa was like it just wasn't the place.
Only thing good about that was Tennessee won it.
That's right. Right? If that's what it takes, then I'll see you in Tampa.
Yeah.
But guess what? I don't think even the players liked it. You know what I'm saying? The teams or nothing. Like, it was like, come on, man.
Because you're so far away from your base.
And it's just like, who's there?
Yep.
That's real.
Who's there? St. Louis was the same way. At least it was still like, you can drive to St. Louis.
It's downtown,
you know what I mean?
too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is where it's
Nashville
at,
central to
It's
everything.
central, and everybody feels that way.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to South Carolina's coach, and he was saying the same thing. He was like, man, and with him having some Chattanooga roots, but he was like, man, Nashville is where it's at. And that's a team at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
They still want to be like, man, we can get our fan base there. So, and it's easier to recruit from there and everything. So, yeah, man.
So I wanted to ask you first, before we get into Tennessee and life without Zakai Ziegler and the next steps for this Vols team, we were talking about SEC Coach of the Year on our YouTube stream 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago or so.
Yep.
And somebody had asked you, Jerry Stackhouse, who's kind of your pick? And the conversation then was, man, with what Dennis Gates has done in year one at Missouri.
Yep.
Dennis Gates, probably the guy, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What ultimately do you think made the difference for Buzz Williams and Jerry Stackhouse to get that nod? And please, Vandy fans, do not take this out of context. Jerry Stackhouse had an outstanding season.
Without question.
Outstanding coaching job.
And I think when you look at it and what Nate Oates did was pretty phenomenal as well at Alabama, but they had a mob, man. Like, they had a roster. You look at A&M, that wasn't expected for Buzz, and especially the way when you're talking about SEC play Coach of the Year, what they did in the conference, the way they played the non-conference schedule, you were like, man, what is Texas A&M gonna do? Like, they were just getting dropped by everybody. So the way they turned that around and were right there hovering around, could have been tied for first if they didn't drop a game. And then what Vanderbilt did, I thought Stack was deserving as well. Like, you look at his roster, no way, especially the way Jordan Wright, who I voted 6th man of the year, especially the way he came along and started to play towards the end of the season. Like, man, he finally got those guys to grasp it. And if anybody asked at the beginning of the season or at the midway point of the season, where do you expect Vanderbilt to finish? I'm saying second or third to last. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you just don't know if the connection is going to be there from the coach to the players and transfer the message and the energy out there to the floor. But Buzz Williams the same way. Look at the two guards, man. You look at Alabama, you got Brandon Miller. You got Missouri with Kobe Brown. Like, you got guys to go. Nobody expected Boots Radford to play like this.
Right.
Wade Taylor to play like this. Like, that bench isn't deep at all. You know what I'm saying? So, man, you got to get that. That goes to coaching for me. And it, of course, the players, you get the pat on the back, but, man, the coaching to be drawing them X's and O's, going into other places and beating teams on the opponent's floor, man, that says a lot, man. So, yeah, I got no problem with it. Now, my vote was Dennis Gates. Sure. Just because of what he did, like the turnaround, the atmosphere, the way he got Como rocking, that is just different, man. So, and that's just the tip of the iceberg for him. It's about to get serious for Dennis Gates. Like, when recruiting comes a thing, he knows how to recruit. And he got two dudes sitting on his bench, CY and Dickie Nutt. Man, dude, cold. I heard that little snickle. But cold-blooded.
That was me.
That was childish.
Yeah,
That wasn't even me this time.
Sorry about that.
I don't know where it came from. I just
Sorry about
heard
it.
What's his name? Say his name.
I just heard it. Do a hell of a
I'm sorry.
recruiting, though.
We were too civil in here, man. What the hell going on, man?
I was locked in with you.
I was locked in, so I'm like, yeah, you said it.
I heard it.
You said it right.
I heard it.
His name is
That's my name.
Not to what's my name.
Oh my goodness! You see how quickly? You see how quickly it happens?
I got a clue.
It was a rapper that name too.
Dickie Nut. That's his name. Okay, you got it. All right. But that's like, you look at what they were able to do. And look, when he came into the league, when Dennis Gates came into the league, I was praising him because coming from that Leonard Hamilton tree, when he was getting one and done guys, and everybody was like, man, how's this dude going top 15 picks, averaging 6 points and 3 rebounds? They down there recruiting at Florida State. So he was able to pick from that tree and go get his guys. And, man, Missouri is going to be knocking on that door.
So that's 2 years ago when the Cat went to Chicago?
Yeah.
Averaging 2 points?
Yeah.
I was so confused by that.
CY and them was the guys. Yeah, without question.
Okay.
So just people, man. Dennis Gates know what he's doing. He know what he's doing.
Fertile recruiting ground in St. Louis as well. For
Without
basketball.
question.
That's true.
So you take that, then you got him in Ohio.
Right.
Then you got him with the Florida roots.
Yep.
What you looking for? That's why you see all the guys look the same. 6'5", can play multiple positions. Imagine what Florida State was doing. They was all 6'8", along the front line, maybe 1 7-footer, but everybody was tall, lanky, athletic. Same thing going on in Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
Just had a Kobe Brown. That ain't
right.
Wow.
pretty special.
You also went on the spill yesterday too, because you let them be known.
What?
The ones on the west end. You told them about stats.
I sure did.
You did.
So
You
did.
You did.
I sure did. You
did.
got to look at the character of these coaches, man. This is when you just get to the basics of the fundamentals of it. When you talk about X's and O's, they got it. Now, to be able to go out and get the guys that you need to be able to carry it out, it's a whole different thing. But when you're working with what you got, man, you got to take your hat off to it, man. Regardless, wins, losses, whatever it is, I know that's what the job is based on, and that's extensions and everything. But if you pull the cover back and look at, like, dude, Stack's serious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this is the thing, Kate. Everybody was saying 2 or 3 years ago, man, he don't even really want this job. He ready to boat to the NBA using this as a springboard. And he was sitting there saying, no, I'm invested in this program. Neesmith go out. We talk about the injuries. Pippen, he comes back for another year, but the power forward, he transfers and goes to take. Like, so many different things that take place, man, that you don't get to see because it's Vanderbilt also, and it ain't a big light shining on it. So if you don't do your homework, you're going to be like, that's just Vanderbilt being Vanderbilt. You know what I'm saying? What is it? But he has something going, man, and he turned over not only the roster, turned over his coaching staff too.
Well, part of that in coaching nowadays at, whatever you're talking about, football, basketball, there's no patience.
No.
So it's what can you do for me right away?
Yep.
The expectations are like, this is what we want right away.
Yep.
And you have to know sometimes, like, to get your guys in, to get your brand on it, it's going to take a minute.
Yep.
And that's kind of what I see out of that situation with Jerry. It just maybe took a little bit longer than they wanted.
I agree, and we may not even see this from them next year.
Right.
But what you got to understand as a Vandy fan base, this isn't the 90s. So you're recruiting a different style of kid, a different generational kid. They got different kind of interests. It ain't, honestly, when you're talking about the athlete, air quotes, it ain't all about the education.
Yeah.
Newsflash.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Vanderbilt
Yeah.
is about the education first, and that ain't nothing wrong with scholar athletes. That's the way it's worded for a reason.
It's kind of set up.
You know
at
what I'm
first.
saying? And there's no problem with that. But you're playing in a competitive league where the athlete, in a sense, comes first and runs the whole conference, and not only that, but the nation. That's part of what it is.
And on top of it, SEC basketball has only gotten better.
Look at the coaches.
That's big.
Look at the coaches, Kay. You forget looking at the players. Just look at the coaches.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So true.
6 new coaches? Come on, man.
What does Sankey ask for? SEC Media Days?
Somebody got to get there.
And what's there?
The championship.
A natty.
Somebody got to go get one. You looking at the Southern Hoops thing? Look at that from decade to decade to decade, women's and men. Like you had somebody represent. They ain't had nobody there since what? Bruce Pearl going to the Final Four.
Right.
Yep.
That ain't likely, not with the money that's being spent in the SEC because it all trickles down from football. Football there every year. So guess who else gets to take on the load of that? Oh, we want some of that too. Basketball gets some. Women's sports get some. Track, tennis, baseball. Look at baseball. Everything. I gave him a shout out.
You did.
Even though
Give him a
it's
shout out.
all
I appreciate
basketball.
it.
Even though it's all about, you know what I mean? I love everybody.
Embrace each other.
Fair enough.
We're embracing each other.
So, but that's the thing, man. So it's a higher standard and the ball not like Coach T always say, the standard is the standard.
Yeah.
We can't move the ball because basketball can't get, wait, let's move it down here because this season. No, it's always right here because everybody's eyes are always looking at that.
Yep.
Part of it. Vandy, get
We
with
do
it.
not care.
Right. At all.
So, Slay, Tennessee falls by 9 at Auburn. Did some good things offensively.
Yeah.
70 points in the jungle is nothing to shake your head at.
Yeah.
Seemed like they missed Zakai Ziegler's on-ball defense against Wendell Green late in that game. Just a couple of breakdowns maybe that we're not accustomed to that Tennessee's going to have to get used to without Zakai Ziegler.
Yeah, you no longer, if you're a pack of flies, you no longer have the lead fly at the barbecue.
Oh, dang.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Zakai's the one you got to.
He keeps coming back, right?
Get away. Like,
okay. You smacking the
you feel
flies
what I'm
away
saying? Like,
because it's Zakai.
And he
he's
doesn't go
always
away.
there.
Okay.
Like, you got the flies that always sit at the end of the table.
Yep.
They like, man, as soon as somebody put a plate down, we going to get them. You feel what I'm saying? Zakai the one while you eating, keep on buzzing around. You like, come on, dog. Come. You're just disturbing me. Like,
Nobody out here at
you
first.
know I'm not going to eat all this food. Everybody always leave their plates around. Just go wait by the trash can, flies. Everything going to be right there for you. Half a rib, you know what I mean? Couple wings. But
Mashed
no,
potatoes.
Yeah, he want the first bite. Just disturbing, man. So that's my thing with him, man. He's not going to be able to hold the disturbance to the in this part of the season where guards win tournaments.
Right.
So you need a guard to be a disturbance, not necessarily stealing every play, but the savvy plays when the ball's entered to the post and it's 2 dribbles taken and he can reach down there and take the ball, or the ball's coming up the court and he turns the defender, the guard a couple of times, make him work to get the ball up, maybe get denied. Like, it's going to be tough, man, because you got a guard-heavy system. It's going in this SEC tournament. And then in the NCAA tournament, you got to have guard play, man. And I think you're fine on the wings. You just can't have people at the point guard spot being able to control the tempo.
Yeah.
He's a tempo disturber.
Yep.
And without him, it's going to be different. Like, I picked them to lose going to Auburn, without question. Like, one, because their back was against the ball. Auburn had to have that game.
Yes, they did.
They had to have that game. They can lose in the SEC tournament now.
Yep.
They had to have that game. So, and Bruce, come on, man. Give Bruce anything to motivate you with at home in the jungle versus Tennessee. Come on, man. Yeah, that's easy.
Once you start the NCAA tournament, everybody has the same level of desperation
Oh, yeah.
that Tennessee will soon have along with everyone else. So coming up, Slay, I want to ask you about one player specifically for Tennessee who I thought needed the ball more in the final 6 minutes and 13 seconds when the Vols didn't make a basket. Coming up. Ron Slay with us on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, 104.5 The Zone.
I'm wondering right now if Savage is listening.
One final segment this morning of Ramon, Kayla, and Will. Powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling, Ron Slay hanging out with you for a couple more minutes before Buck Rising and Lucas Panzica take over. Slay, in your opinion, why did Julian Phillips not get more of the basketball in the final 6 minutes for Tennessee on Saturday?
Because I think, Will, with their offense, it's not an offense based on we're coming to you.
Okay.
It's more of a body movement, ball flowing type of offense. I agree, though. I think that's part of him being out there, him and Josiah. I think they put pressure on the guys guarding them by not settling for jumpers, but being able to get to the basket and at least get to the free throw line. I think that's something, and I think they'll take a look at it. It's just maybe you can't get into your set soon enough. Maybe that's another thing with Zakai, but I think he's a guy, man. You gotta be a little bit more assertive, and I will say I don't think he's 80% either. So I think he's toughing through it also. So maybe he is limited on being able to explode with that hip flexor. Like it's the slightest thing you could be running right, and then one little move is like, oh, but then you get back normal. It's like so. Maybe just a little nervous and trying to use that explosion, but yeah.
It make you hesitant for sure.
Mm-hmm. Without question. I do got to tell you just through Will, you supposed to announce state champion. State guys going to the state.
Yeah.
Pearl Cone.
Yep.
Going to the state.
Yes, they are.
And football.
That was as of last night, right?
Yep.
Because I went to bed and didn't see their final score yet.
Yeah.
Is what it was. So
I
I'm glad you did.
retweeted
Firebird
everything.
got you. Hillsboro going to the state. Firebird got you. And MLK going to the state.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, all of them will be in the state championship, so shout out to them, man.
I'm going to be doing
state
those.
tournament this week.
Go get it, Kay.
18th.
Go get it. That's fun,
Saturday
too.
down in Murfreesboro.
Yeah, in the Glass House. That's good, man. A good atmosphere.
It is awesome.
I might be
Nothing like
texting
it,
you for a couple of questions.
Well, you got me.
Okay.
You got me. You know that. I'm my awesome. That's one thing for sure.
It is an awesome environment down there.
No, it is.
I'm
I
pumped
love
for it.
Yeah.
Like, that place gets loud.
Yeah, like 20 and 10 my last time.
A what?
A light 20 and 10.
That wasn't even heavy, Slay.
Yeah, it was light.
It was light work.
Junior.
You're looking youthful out here, too.
Thank you, sir.
You're looking youthful.
My favorite thought on
I
social media, just so you know.
I appreciate that. I'm back vertical, standing on the rim, dunking, just, you know what I mean? For anybody out there wondering. You know
How your inflammation? Low?
Oh, real low.
Okay.
Real
That's
low.
the best part.
Testosterone high. Just, you know what I mean? Just high. Yeah.
But isn't inflammation, seriously though, the inflammation, you don't know how much it affects your body until it's out of your body.
Up.
And then
You
you're
sure
like,
don't.
dang, I feel good.
Yeah, no, I've been bullshitting. That's
Yes.
what I like to say. I'm like, hey, yeah, you like I
clean that up right now.
Walk that line. Walk that line. But that's, hey, man, like, Kay, I'm talking about when you get up out the bed, like I used, like, for a minute you had to get up out the bed, sit on the edge, be like, well, let's get this thing rolling.
What I say here.
Get this body rolling, baby.
Shaking
Come
your
on.
legs.
Then you get on up. Now, man, them feet hit the ground, I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? Like you can tell the difference. Like no aches, no
That's
pains.
awesome.
Yeah, that's what's up. We're gonna see with this little marathon. But
You're going to laugh at me? Oh, wow. Which, hey, if you need my help with any of that,
Yeah.
you know where to call me.
Well, I'll be drinking.
Okay, perfect.
I'm just out there as a body. I'm out there as an able body. Because Bam signed us up. Like I actually don't plan on finishing.
Perfect.
Unless somebody catch me on a little bike or something.
I got you.
But I am involved though. I just want everybody to know.
You're going to laugh at me that, like, when I went through my, like, post athletics, like I got to bulk up, like I've got to like put on all this weight phase. There were unintended consequences of that I never knew would be.
Yeah.
Like things hurt now that I'm like, what in the world? Why did I do this?
Gotta get it up off of you.
Your body gonna be
Like it's
hey, man,
decent weight. It's not all good. It's not all bad.
Yeah.
It's weight
But I'm
period
cool with
though.
it.
That was my one mistake. If I could go back and do one thing over, I thought going into UT that summer of 2004, I had to get big. That was by far my biggest flaw, and that was the start of my struggle of like forever trying to be at a precise weight. I was like, I gotta get big. I was eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, going to sleep because I was like, I gotta compete. Not even realizing like, nah, it'll come. Like even with my kids or kids that are like, man, he's super skinny. Screw that.
Yeah, he gonna be fine.
Let him grow. You gonna be all right. Or even kids that's trying to, or bigger kids. It's like, why you got your kid on a diet?
Yeah.
That's a you problem.
Yeah, that's not. You're gonna be fine.
Yeah, they're gonna be fine.
All right, so boys basketball teams playing next week. 1A East Robertson and Fayetteville in Middle Tennessee. That's right.
Fayetteville.
2A, Fairview, Giles County, the home of one former Vol, Tyler Smith. Pulaski, Tennessee stand-up.
He coaching opposite.
Firebirds, Procone.
Yeah.
York Institute in 2A. 2A, well represented
Yes,
in
it
Middle
is.
Tennessee.
Right?
It is.
Gauntlet. MLK, like you mentioned, White County.
Mm-hmm.
That is
County,
it's
man.
Kelly Harper. White County.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sparta.
Yeah, Brent Jolly.
4A, Blackman, Hillsboro, Independence.
Oh, wow.
Have you watched Independence?
No, they good.
They're fun.
Are they?
They're fun.
I
Rossview
heard,
didn't make it. That's
I
crazy.
heard I got to check them out.
Yeah.
Williamson County, right?
Oh, yeah.
Independence, yeah.
Thompson
They had a
Station.
tournament. What, they had a tournament there? Did they have the district there or something, or the region
I
or something?
think so, yeah.
And I was supposed to get over there and see it. And
I hate when I do that, too.
Man.
That's cold. I hate when I do that.
ooh.
Real quick, Slay. Lady Vols, big win over LSU over the weekend.
Woo.
Huge for
win.
signature win for Kelly since she's been at Tennessee.
Yeah, that's big time. Raquel Howard coming through. Jordan Horston making some things happen. They need one more. What's the point guard? Jordan Walker.
Sure.
Yeah, I
She
think so.
played. She played pretty well. I might be saying her first name wrong, but last name Walker. She played pretty well too. If they can get one more person to help, it's gonna be good, man. I just think South Carolina. God.
Oh my God, they're
Different.
a juggernaut.
Number
Is that the
one in the
same way?
polls for the
Same wavelength
37th
right there,
straight week.
Hey man.
Did you see my Lady Cougs, Washington State?
I saw that.
First
Get it
ever
done.
Pac-12 title for them.
And that's out there running with Stanford,
Dude, that's
who's a
tough.
dog. Stanford got a
UCLA.
squad. Arizona got a squad.
I had to get
UCLA got a
Slay's
squad.
approval.
Yeah, no, hell yeah. That's what's up. No, because that came left field on me. I was like, man, for real. No, seriously,
right, I
like
know.
Arizona's dominant. Stanford is dominant. Like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what's up.
Catch Ron Slay and whoever else special guest might just stop by 3HL weekdays 3 to 6. Thank you, Slay. Good to see you.
Welcome, man.
See you at the tourney.
Yeah. Did y'all hear the rant on Ja yesterday?
Yeah, I did. I did. It was really good. I listened to it.
Everybody's got a rant on
I thought
Ja.
that was right
But
on.
mine wasn't on Ja. It was the hanger on.
The people around him.
Yeah, that's what I was